It is October 16th, 2021. This is the Total Nostalgia, or Total Nostalgia, because we never talk about anything nostalgic podcast.
Yes.
It's still nostalgia.
I know. Yeah,
The pop culture experience.
Yeah, if you watched the last episode we did, then that's nostalgia
It's been
because
so
it's
long
been
since
past.
we did another
It's
one,
getting that way, so
it is nostalgia.
Yeah. I looked into it when I popped the computer open. There's something wrong with the reason episode 11 didn't process for some reason. I posted it 2 weeks ago. There's something up with it.
Yeah, and what was
I'll
weird
figure
is
that
like
out.
when I looked at it on my phone, it showed like
It's
it was
in the list.
Like when it showed for the longest, like it was
uploading.
It was uploading.
Yeah.
It was. I
was
left
like
it that.
error.
Yeah, whatever day that was, I left it running that day, and it ran for so long. I just closed the computer because I assumed it was done,
Yeah.
and it probably said error then.
The computer
I'll
probably
check into
automatic updated itself and turned off.
It could have been. I've still got the file. I will re-upload it, but I don't know why I blasted it. You'll get a twofer.
Yeah.
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 Well, while I'm editing this one, I'll have that one processed
Yeah.
on YouTube. So I don't know. Yeah, well, there
I don't
should
even
be
remember what we
two.
talked about in that one. It's
Y'all's
been so long.
Upcoming toy show. And
that wasn't
something.
when we talked about y'all's trip to Florida, was it, or was that the one before?
No, that was the one before,
Okay,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
it must have been a toy show.
I don't even know what we talked about.
I don't know. What have y'all been up to?
Work.
Yeah,
Work.
how's work going? How's the store doing?
Just lowered my chair all the way.
You look like a hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and stand up for me and fix that. You going?
Kanye's gonna come in here.
Yeah. And, hey, yeah. Love you.
They should put I wish this gear had one of those locks. You know how you can lock the wheels?
Yeah.
This one don't.
Well, just don't
Stand
roll
up.
around like a
roll
child.
around.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I try.
So,
Yeah.
so we're a little further out from the twice as big stores. That's still a good decision. Everything's still going
Yeah.
Oh,
smooth.
yeah.
Yeah.
We need more space.
Yeah. So you already need
we're
more.
already filled up.
Yeah.
Right.
About to be getting rid of comics, a lot of comics, and putting up more shelves and racks.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
need more space.
Yeah, like right now we're running any.
Is it new stuff? Are you pulling stuff out of storage, or what? What do you need room for?
All the stuff we keep
Well,
getting in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're having to
And
end
then we
up
do have so
cluttering up
much stuff.
a lot of the shelving
Yeah.
that it's hard to,
To try to
get
get
and
it
see
all in.
things.
Yeah.
And I have learned if it's a hassle for somebody to grab something off a shelf, they're not going to grab it.
Introverts will not come and ask for
Even
help.
if they want it.
No,
You know, if they have to move a couple.
Yep.
Like Funko Pop sales went up when we just moved the store just because they weren't so hard to get to anymore.
That's weird, but that's a lot of a good percentage of the audience is going to be
It's just-
introverted
Yes.
and will
Or
not
if
approach
Don't
anybody.
want to touch something because they're afraid they might break
I mean, that's
something.
part of it, but most of the time, it's just like I don't. If I can't get it myself 100% and
Oh,
just
yeah,
walk
I'm
up
not
there,
gonna
not
ask
make eye
anybody.
contact, and hand you my credit card or whatever, like they just won't do it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we got a bunch of stuff in those glass cases, and people still, they'll ask us to get it out of that.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I
Because
hope
you
they
don't.
do,
Yeah,
'cause
you
I've
don't
got
have
a
no
sign
choice
on
on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but
Well,
I'm just saying, like they'll still, even the people who can, probably a little shy-ish,
Yeah.
they'll still come up.
Right.
Something out of that case,
Yeah.
I will tell you this: since we swapped hooks over, I don't hear hardly anything hit the ground anymore.
Oh yeah, the ghost is left when
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah.
It helped
Like
with the loose
nothing.
stuff.
I don't hear. Normally, it'd be like 2 or 3 things drop a day, and it might be like 1 week.
Well,
The
that's
only thing that
good.
drops now is how Black Series has their own like built-in like
Hooks.
Those
Yes,
things
they're
suck.
terrible.
Yeah,
They're
they
just not
just
weighted.
fall
Yeah,
off.
they just don't.
Yeah.
They're not rated for the weight of the
No.
figure.
yeah, they're not
Yeah.
meant to be on a shelf for
No.
I
long.
hate those.
Yeah,
I
they-
hate those because even when you're like, if you're putting stuff in storage, you've got that hard plastic thing sticking up,
and
and
you
it's
can't
like,
bend it.
yeah, what right? Yeah, it just.
Man, they don't
yeah,
hold up
I
long
don't
at
like
all.
No,
Yeah.
they're
But that's the same way
garbage.
with those old Toy Biz, Marvel
That's
Legends.
my next thing.
Those things get brittle. Like those clamshells will just
Well,
crack
they're
over
also
time.
like this big.
They
They
are.
get
They're
this
not
much
thick.
hook, and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's
Yeah.
a hook.
They're all heavy.
They're super heavy because
are.
they had bases, giant figures,
Yeah.
accessories.
Yeah.
Like,
The
yeah,
Thing, the
oh my gosh!
Hulks.
So when I used to, that was what I collected when I got started. Marvel Legends was my thing, and so this I didn't have much. I had every Marvel Legend that came out, but I didn't have all the other crap that I have now. So this was when I was still living at home. And I didn't have shelving or this was my bedroom, so I had to exist in this room. So I was hanging them on the wall, Well, I'd put one pin in the top in the little holder thing, but then you better put 2 underneath
Yeah.
it to just
You're
to hold the
gonna
weight,
sleep in
just
and
to
the
hold the
Hulk
weight.
smack
Oh
you in
my
the
gosh!
face,
Yeah,
give
it
you
would have
a
killed
pop
you.
knot.
Yeah, golly.
They are. They're heavy.
Wake
Yeah.
up concussed.
God, that's back in the days. So I
That
I
packaging
had,
is so big,
It's so
and now
big.
Marvel Legends are like this
Yeah, they
big.
get 'em in
There's
a
no
tiny
way
box.
they would do that ever again. Just
never.
the
You
shipping
could
alone.
Never. You
Yeah.
could never do it.
It would
And
be a
those
hassle.
things were $8.
Ain't that crazy?
Giant figures that they
That's
made
so
a mold
nice.
for that would never be used again because it's not. It's specific to this character. Like it
Yeah.
ain't like they do bucks now to where it's like, oh, a big giant body can be Sasquatch or Hulk or Wendigo or whatever. That kind of stuff.
Repaint.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it was rare that they even did that.
Yeah.
Like it was
That's
every
why they're out
now
of
and
business,
then.
too.
I know, but and they have figured there are enough bucks now that they have the standard molds for. You can make about anybody.
You really can't.
Yeah.
And it does suck that they do
Kinda,
that a lot
yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But, you know,
But it makes it to where
Hasbro
you're
probably
getting.
wouldn't be in business.
That's
if they
right.
didn't
You
do
wouldn't
that.
get any of the things.
Yeah,
know?
you wouldn't get crap.
Yeah. So I just got there's
This
a
table
5.
sure is wobbly.
It's wobbly,
It
man.
is. I
Yep,
think we
it's
lost
wobbly.
our.
I'll put my leg on top of it over here.
There it is.
I got there's a 5-pack that's I guess it's an Amazon exclusive. It's a Wolverine 5-pack, and it comes with.
Where's it wobbly at, though? Is it on
No,
your
it's
leg?
fixed now.
I'm holding my hand.
was
I've
not-
got my foot on.
Oh,
I'm
look
holding
at
it
that.
down.
Look at
I
that.
told
Look
you.
at that. I found the
Maybe.
shim.
Yeah, we got the.
Okay, well,
I don't know which.
it'll be on your side.
Yeah, it was going
the
this
leg
way.
directly. Man,
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah.
The leg. It should be the one directly
This
opposite
technical
me.
difficulties
Yeah,
live.
I got it. You got it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So it's a 5-pack, and it's got a. It's
It
got
was
a.
distracting me. I was
Yeah,
sorry.
I understand.
That's
It was
'cause you kept
bothering me
bumping the
too.
table.
I
It's
was
got
like,
a
damn.
it's got a shirtless Wolverine, like in his brown suit pants, but
Yeah.
he's naked from the waist up, and it's got Callisto, the leader of the Morlocks. It's got one of the Hellfire Club. It's I don't know if it's Donald Pierce or somebody like that, and it's got they re-released the Omega Red figure. But then there's you ever heard of Cyber, one of Wolverine's villains?
Yeah.
Like he's in that 5-pack. Like that's probably the only way you would ever get that figure.
Yeah,
you know,
they're not-
like he's not
yeah.
a huge enough character. I mean, I say that there's some characters that they make. It's like who cares about this? Like so maybe they
A
would have
bunch of 'em.
eventually. But the way they do things, it gives you an opportunity to get more figures of characters that you probably never got.
I wonder who does like sit around and come up with the like. Do they
you gonna
listen
come
to?
out with?
Yeah, who are they gonna do?
Sometimes they'll put a poll up, I guess. Or I mean, I'm sure they're listening and they know.
You
I
see
mean,
where Hasbro CEO died?
yeah, the Brian Goldner, 58 years old.
Yeah.
Did they
Yeah.
ever say where he died from?
No, I don't think he went to the hospital for some sickness and died.
I know he like literally he took a leave of absence
Mhm.
from and then was dead like 2 days later. I was
Yep.
like, dang.
Yep.
Well,
And
that'll
I
shake
mean,
things up
and
at
he's the
Hasbro.
face. Like he has been the leader of Hasbro for a while. Like
Really?
he's the one that all the stuff you like about G.I. Joe and Transformers and Legends and stuff like that. I mean, all that started under his control.
I wonder what'll happen now.
I don't know.
That can shake things up big time when you lose somebody like that.
It can, but I think.
Especially like in the current climate
Yeah.
we're living in with like in
But I gotta think
everything going
it
up.
just seems like everything Hasbro's doing right now is fairly successful.
Yeah.
So
It does seem
if
like it.
anything, it's like let's just keep doing what we're doing for now.
Yeah.
You know, let's,
Even garbage figures.
But
Yeah,
I mean, I
right.
don't know,
Still
man. It seems
selling.
like a bunch of people aren't satisfied with Black Series. Like if they have one
I
line,
think
'cause they
Black
look
Series
awful.
distribution is the biggest thing.
That-
Like
Yeah.
there are figures that have been out, like that Cad Bane figure has been out in the wild or whatever. I've never seen it in a store, but it has been out available where people could buy it for months. I've had it pre-ordered for. I've ended up buying 2 of them from individuals or whatever to get them. And but I've had one pre-ordered from Big Bad's Toy Store since the day they put it up, and they still haven't seen it. That's like 2 or 3 waves ago behind. They, they're just not getting.
that kind of stuff's about to get worse.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's been bad well before this, and now it's going to get worse.
Because they already said that this Christmas for like toys
Yeah.
and video games and a lot of things that people buy for Christmas presents are
better get it
gonna.
now.
You better
If you can
snatch
find it, you
up.
better get it now.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're going to be huge distribution problems for all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So I bet some toys are going to be.
But so we went to Stone Mountain last weekend in Georgia, and while we
What
were
is
there,
that? I've heard of that. What is that? A park?
yeah, it's a big giant hill in the middle, like outside of
It's a
Atlanta or
mountain.
what? Yeah, and it's got like some
Oh, the
Confederate.
Confederate. I've
Yeah,
been
it's got
there.
the carving on the side of it, and they do a laser show on the side of the mountain. Well,
Yeah.
they do like a fall Halloween festival.
They gonna
So
blow
we
that thing up
carried
soon, I
mine.
bet, but-
I bet you they'll carve it
Yeah, I
off,
remember going there when I was in high school.
did.
They've
I went
got
there when I
that
was a
lake,
kid.
and you can like rent those little paddle boats.
Yeah, well, there is some water around
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
I've
always
never been.
we've always went to the area right at the base, but there is there's water around the area. It's a pretty large size park. We've only went to like the one, like there's a skyway that'll take you up on top of it, and there's all kind of crap on top of it. We didn't do any of that, but there's a train that goes around the base of it.
It's like
it was
a
just like
Mount
a little-
Rushmore of Confederate
Exactly.
soldiers,
Exactly. Yeah.
like Stonewall. And
Yeah, I can't remember who
Robert
was on
E.
there.
Lee.
Probably Robert E. Lee and Stonewall. I think there's
Can't
2 or
think of
3.
any other major generals for the Confederacy at the moment.
General something Decatur.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
who is that guy?
Is
That,
it Samuel or I don't remember.
Who's the guy that Joe Wheeler?
Joe Wheeler? Yeah.
Joe Wheeler was a
there you go.
huge,
Yeah,
uh,
for sure.
Joe
Yeah.
Wheeler.
General in
Yep,
the
yep,
Confederacy.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, he led the what was that war that Theodore Roosevelt fought in? when he was a Rough Rider.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyways, they
Yeah.
ended up
I'm
having.
not a history buff.
Maybe.
They brought.
If
they
I
brought.
said something, it would be
They
wrong.
brought
Yeah.
Joe Wheeler out of retirement.
Oh man, he's back.
He's back,
He's back.
and I think he led that battle.
They retired again.
Yeah, that's
Two
right. They put him
retirements.
back on ice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
the demolition man.
that war is what made him decide to be buried in his Union attire
Oh yeah.
because he wanted to be buried in his Confederate
Yeah.
attire.
So back to Stone Mountain.
fact.
I went to
Yeah.
Walmart while I was at Stone Mountain, and they had the latest wave of a Black Series figure just hanging on the peg, which
I don't
is
even know
which,
what the way to slave is.
the latest wave has.
Wait a slave.
Wait, a slave.
Latest Slave has Aura Singh. She's like a bounty hunter from Clone Wars.
Uh-huh.
You'd know her if you've seen her. Probably.
Yeah.
She's like bald headed, but she's got like an aerial antenna sticking right out of the top of her head. She's got
Blue
super
or
long. No,
green
she's
or
white.
what?
She's got super long fingers.
Does she have like a? Oh no, she don't have a mohawk. She
She
has an
alien?
antenna.
She has some kind of
Alien
hair on the
looking?
back.
It's like
I think
orange?
yes, it's orange.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I just didn't know.
Her and Tech from the Bad Batch.
Yes,
and,
I've got him.
And do you?
Yeah.
And then the whatever the second chick was in the
got 3 of the
Mandalorian,
5.
Casca Reeves, not Bo-Katan, but her the other female on the Mandalorians group. You know what I'm
Oh
talking about?
yeah, on the actual show, Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
There
about.
was 2 women and 1 guy or something like that.
Yeah.
Her name I can't remember.
Agent May.
No,
That
Agent
lady?
May was
Agent May was
the-
with
Boba Fett. Chicks
Yeah.
with Boba.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, I think what was her name? It's Bo-Katan, and I just said it a minute ago. Something Casca Reeves, I think, is her
Yeah.
name. Anyway, they didn't have that figure. I would have bought it, but I did buy that Tech figure.
Yeah,
And-
I got to take.
Oh,
Randy picked it up for me at Target.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I found what is the deluxe figure that's out? Like
Wrecker.
so that Target had a bunch of him like a few weeks ago or whatever, and I got mine. But
Yeah, I've got
they
Hunter,
sold through 'em
Wrecker,
all.
and Tech.
Yep.
I don't think they've done Echo, yet.
No, they did
Uh,
crosshairs.
and I don't really. I eventually
want
want
the
to get
team.
Crosshair.
Right.
And I hope they end up doing the
You
Omega
get 3,
Girl
you gotta
too.
get 5.
Right. So I bought them all. Never seen an episode of the show. Don't
Man,
know
it's
anything
good.
about it. Yeah, that's what I've heard. But the way Black Series is, like, you better get them now. If you ever see them, you better get them
They
because
did a Hot
Yeah,
Toys of that
Despair.
Hunter.
yeah.
I assume they're gonna do the whole gang in Hot Toys.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
good.
sure they will because, golly, they will do every clone trooper that has a different color stripe on it. They'll do a Hot
People
Toys.
buy 'em.
But why not? Yeah, we already got them old made.
Well,
All we gotta do
you
is
get, you
put a
get
stripe
one
on it.
dirty, one clean.
That's
one with
right.
burns.
One in the package,
Well, you
one out of
know-
the package,
Yeah.
one just in case.
Yeah.
I told a dude this the other day. I'm like, anybody that's around my age,
Yeah.
they don't care about stormtroopers. They care about the clones.
Siths and stuff like that.
Well,
like,
the clones.
I
That's
never
what they
I
want.
never cared about the clones.
I like
And
bad guys.
anybody who
too.
grew up with the original series are into troopers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They want troopers. Oh, give me troopers.
I don't know.
The
I-
Darth Maul Black Series would look real good.
Yeah. So
Darth Maul's just a sweet
he's,
character.
golly, he's
does.
so cool.
I was hoping the other day some kid come in and he wanted that awesome Darth Maul statue I had.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to sell my AR and I'm gonna get that. I said, bring your AR in. I'll trade you for it.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. That'd be cool.
But he never showed.
Yeah.
If you're
well,
listening, come in.
yeah,
Yeah.
bring your
Take that gun.
Offer
Yeah.
still stands.
Yeah.
yeah. Don't bring the gun in loaded, waving it around or nothing. Like. But,
Yeah, because I would hate for a shootout.
yeah, I hate to drop somebody on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do
I'd
that.
hate to put bullet holes in our new store.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Blood
yeah.
splatters.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I don't want you haunting it.
No, it is
we,
that season.
we got enough ghosts.
Yeah.
Well, then we can start our own ghost tour in our own
Oh,
store.
You get your witching sticks out and see the
Yeah.
spirit.
I
Yeah.
still
Right.
ain't got to use those
Oh,
yet.
man.
We still need to go to the Dead Kids Playground.
I know we do.
There's some
yeah.
other. I don't remember
Gotta
where
go
it
to
was
the
at.
State Bank.
They had an
You
article
know,
the
Jesse
other day.
James looked at that
And he
bank
did
one
it. He
time.
shot a hole in it. There's a
shot
bullet
it,
hole
didn't he?
from him.
No, I don't thi-
That's the story that goes
There's a
around.
plaque
It
up
says-
there that says that.
When they tell
Yeah.
it was like he probably came through this
He rode
area.
through
Yeah, it's
Alabama.
I don't, yeah, right, exactly. It's kind of like Channing Tatum is from Alabama. It's like he might have drove through here once.
Well,
in a
that's
while.
like behind my dad's house. There's a creek, and the rumor always was that Andrew Jackson marched through there across that creek.
yeah, right.
You know?
It don't have to be told too many times until
Like,
it's suddenly it's a
I
fact.
doubt
you
he
know what I
did.
mean?
And plus, like, why would he cross that creek? He could just like.
He just take a leap over it.
Yeah,
You know,
and,
it's
if he did, why was it important that people remember it?
I
You
don't know.
it's
It's
like
just one of those things people in that
Was it
area
even a
talk
creek
about.
at the time period,
It's
or
one
did
of
it?
I
Form
bet it was
after?
much smaller than what it is now.
Yeah.
'Cause
most of them are like
Yeah.
the rivers and
Like
stuff
the
were
Grand
nowhere near
Canyon.
as big until
Like,
they dammed them up.
There's
you know?
certain parts of that creek that are pretty big, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain parts of it that still to this day they like narrow down
That's
to
what I
nothing.
mean.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he
he
stepped
could
across it.
step across the creek. You know.
Well, maybe
Or
we
if
can
he
get
didn't, it was like he wasn't a great general if he didn't come, 200 yards down the bank and find where it thins out here.
Yes.
But people still talk. So that's what they say.
That's
so
crazy.
who knows if it's true?
Well, maybe we can get a ghost hunt part 2.
We need to. We need to
Hey,
do
what's
something.
cool? I need to find
get
the
some file.
article.
Yeah.
But there was an article the other day I read on like AL.com. It's like 5 haunted trails in
That'd be
Alabama,
cool.
like walking trails
Yeah.
that are haunted. There's one around this area to where there's like
It's
you
Crybaby
walk to like
Holler.
a
Oh gosh!
walk
You
to
put
an
the
old,
powder on the trunk.
that's crazy. But
There's one
there
everywhere.
used to be a
Every
cabin
town.
there that this lady lived in. I can't remember. I
She
think
eat
she
kids?
killed somebody or killed a couple people during the Confederacy.
Oh, that's
And-
that house we went to.
Yeah.
And the house ain't
Ghost
there no
farts.
more, but I believe the like chimney and all that's still standing. But
Oh,
they
yeah.
say that she haunts the trail.
Huh.
Yeah,
And that
'cause-
kind of stuff is like it ain't got to be nothing real. It's,
No.
it's just you out
Just
in the
put me
trail
out in the
middle.
woods at
yeah,
night.
in the
I'm
woods
like-
at night. Yeah, I'm gonna
What's
find.
that noise?
I'm
The
gonna find
spook
something wrong
factor
out here.
went way up.
Yeah,
Check my phone.
absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the isolation and just the noises that you hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
woods are
wild
just
cats
creepy.
up
Oh
in
my gosh.
there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And honestly, I ain't worried about ghosts, but there's some real danger out here.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
there could be
Well,
anything.
there could be a
coming,
murderer
yeah,
standing in the
could
woods
be
watching
anything.
you. It's
Yeah,
like,
or a
hey.
bobcat even, or something.
Yeah.
Bobcat.
Boy.
That's not too. There's nothing in Alabama
lion.
like animal-wise to really be scared
Oh,
of.
like an alligator.
You're not gonna find an alligator out
But
in
you
the
said
woods.
none. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I bet you if you walked up on a wild deer in the woods and he was freaked out, it'd be a handful.
I mean, it might be, but it ain't like walking up on a mountain lion.
If I
or a
walked
grizzly
up,
bear.
look, if I walked up on a large squirrel in pitch black dark and he makes all kind of noise and
I
stuff,
will scream.
yeah,
and
absolutely,
run.
it may as well be a grizzly bear.
I mean, you probably wouldn't want a bobcat pouncing on you. They
You
are pretty
wouldn't.
strong little.
I
little
showed
guys
Philip
that-
a video yesterday where these little kids were just walking from the school bus into their school, and a deer came leaping through and it hit him in the
That's
head
what I'm
and knocked him
saying.
out.
Yeah.
He's like,
A cornered wild animal, about any kind or whatever, is going to do some damage if he
Oh, yeah.
can.
Oh, I mean, when I was in high school, I got ran out of the woods by 5 raccoons.
Them things crazy.
Have you ever
They
heard
are.
the noises that they make?
No, but I've seen them go over there and steal a dog's food with 2 little hands and then
Yeah,
walk off
run.
on their back legs. Like, yeah.
I'm telling you, go listen to the noises that they make.
Yeah. I've
It's
seen that guy
creepy.
I've seen that guy that gets the hot dogs out and like hundreds of them come to his
oh,
porch.
yeah,
and
he
seen
things.
that,
feeds
yeah.
them all.
That's crazy, yeah.
Mm-mm.
I had
Those
shot
things
at
nice.
them with my bow and shot one of them's ear off.
Yeah.
And,
And
boy,
they came for vengeance.
They did, man. I'm telling you,
Jeez.
they were like making all these noises and they like
They
bowed up.
swell up on you.
Yeah, and they were
Yeah.
all coming at me.
And
you
they
know?
got you. They called you
Looking like little
bluff.
I ran out of the woods.
Yeah.
And I ran back into the woods trying to get another shot at them, and I couldn't.
They
I'm
proved
brave
their
now.
point.
I'm brave now.
Yeah,
They
that's right,
did.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I didn't
Give
know
me
what
hope.
was going to happen, you know.
I would have took off too. Like you get a
Oh,
number
yeah.
of them. Like,
I
I
don't
thought,
know
well,
if
my
they got
first thought, that
rabies.
was my first thought,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
man, I don't think they'd be this aggressive. What if they all 5 have rabies?
absolutely, yeah.
When I was working for a
Took
moving
shots
company,
forever.
Mm.
I caught a
Right.
raccoon. It was just creeping down the street, you know, just
Yeah.
walking. And I told the guy that was ran the company, his name was Alex. I was like, pull over. I bet I can catch that raccoon.
Oh, man, why would you?
And I did
'Cause
catch
it's
it.
fell
Yeah.
up.
And then
Yeah.
we took pictures with it. And then I told my dad about it. He goes, "You're an idiot. Raccoons don't come out hardly in the daytime. That thing had rabies."
Yeah, really. Like you're one,
Pick it
you're
up,
one nip
hold
away
it.
from having rabies.
Yeah.
Because they are
No,
basically a
past that.
nocturnal.
Put it in
Right.
the U-Haul with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the front,
Oh
up in
my
the front,
gosh, what
holding
a-
on to it.
What a good
We
idea.
took some pictures. And
Was he freaking out, or did he kind of like just freeze up on you?
Well, I walked right up to him, put my boot on the back of his neck, reached down, and grabbed him, and I kind of grabbed him like
He
that.
didn't try to run away when you was putting your boot on him.
Just he kind of made like a,
That's rabies. That's rabies.
Yeah.
and I
Or
just kind of he was
death.
super
He's
strong though.
diseased.
Had a hard
Yeah.
time holding him. And
Oh,
I finally
yeah.
told Alex, I was like, "Man, Alex, we got to get this guy out of here."
Yeah.
You should have put it
Open
in
the
there.
door and let him out.
Yeah.
He
Wild
took off
animals are
running.
strong because they give you 100% of whatever
Dude,
they got.
he was
You
so
know?
strong,
Yeah.
and he wasn't even a big
They don't
raccoon.
have- yeah.
I mean, he was probably like I don't know, like a 15-pound raccoon, like
Yeah.
a small dog, you know.
Yeah.
Stout.
And they-
I told Alice, I cannot hold this raccoon much longer.
Right.
We have to get him out of here.
Yep. Yep. Just their back muscles and stuff. When they decide to start squirming, they
If he
can get
would've got
loose.
out,
Oh man.
ooh,
Ain't no telling
boy.
what you'd have done.
We'd have been screwed.
You'd
I
had
mean,
a
we're in
wreck,
a small
oh
little
my
U-Haul,
gosh,
you
yeah.
know, in a cab truck, you
Yeah.
know, about as wide as from me to
Y'all
you.
having to explain why that raccoon's in the truck and you're not.
Why
we
you
can't
wrecked
get
it
in.
when
Yeah.
there was a raccoon in the truck.
I had to get in there.
Yeah. Open the door from in there.
Yeah.
Ran
Well,
in. Yeah.
Well, there's
Well, what's these
conflict.
documented pictures on social media?
We have conflicting conflicting accounts as to what happened.
Yes.
But
The only reason I caught it is I think Alex was like, you can't catch that raccoon. And I was like,
I wouldn't have.
I don't know. I think I can. Let's see
I thought
if
I can, but I'm not.
I wouldn't have. I remember when we were in school or whatever, there was a kid that was messing around with I think it was it was either a rabbit or a chipmunk or something outside before school, and that sucker bit him and he got a pretty good whelp out of that. Like,
I've been bit by a squirrel.
yeah.
When I was in high school, my brother is like a
Didn't you? I think you told me this story back.
he's like a redneck crocodile Dundee. Well, that was a different one.
Okay.
Yeah, he got two. He can't
But-
even put his finger out straight.
Since they all knew that my brother was like this, catch anything kind of guy, they
Yeah.
just assumed that I did the same thing.
And you ain't gonna let me punk you.
No,
Yeah.
so they were like, we got a squirrel in the art class. You think you can get it out? And I was like, oh no, let me in there. Well, I did catch it and I got it out, and that squirrel did bite me.
Yeah.
But I ended up the one that messed my hand up was when right after I got out of high school, I was
It's a good
there was a
one.
squirrel out in our yard, and I shot him with my pellet gun and went up there to pick him up, and he
Yeah.
popped back
Oh,
up
yeah.
alive. So I
Yeah.
thought, I punched him in the face,
Yep. That's what I remember. Yeah.
And,
he stabbed you with his tooth.
He opened his
Yeah.
mouth, and
Yeah.
his tooth went like right
Yeah.
through my knuckle. And man, my hand swelled up so bad for like 6 months. My hand from like my knuckle to right here was just. I should have went to the doctor.
Yeah.
I was like,
you
it would
should
make too much
have.
sense to go get a infection,
My
a shot, or
goodness.
some
It took a full-
antibiotics.
Probably a full year before the swelling finally went out of my knuckle,
I can't
and I
imagine
could
that
barely
you-
bump my knuckle, and it would just like
I've
set
s-
my hand
I've
on
You
still
better
got
be
those.
glad that
That-
your like bones didn't like
But
jello.
this
gosh.
this knuckle,
It's like,
actually it's this hand. Yeah, I forget which hand. That finger won't go all the way up.
Oh.
I can't make a peace sign no more.
Oh no.
That's as far as it goes.
Well.
Permanent
can't even
damage from
shoot a
that.
bird,
No.
From
probably.
that,
That's terrible.
Actually, I don't think.
Oh.
I can't.
There you go. That's two
Nobody's-
of them.
But permanent damage from that squirrel.
You got
I
what
knew
was
as
hate.
soon as I said it.
You should have known better.
I should have.
Yeah.
And when I caught that one in high school,
Figured it'd do
I got
this.
called
No,
to the office so I caught that squirrel on a Friday. They called me to the office Monday, and I thought they were checking up on me. Like,
That's when you got arrested, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. I thought, oh look, man, they really caring about that squirrel bite. And I went to that. I went to the vice principal's office because I don't think the principal was there, and I was like, man, that squirrel bite's fine. And that's ain't about the squirrel bite.
Mm.
She's like, did you have too much fun this weekend? And I was like, oh no.
Mm,
And I'd
gosh.
gotten that fight over the weekend. They
Yeah.
arrested me at school.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Just making a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Stupid.
Well, golly, here
that
we
squirrel
we've
bite didn't do anything
We've
to me.
careened off into wild animal. What were we were talking about? Walking a trail, a haunted trail.
Yeah, and then
that
the
ended
raccoons.
Up, raccoon. Okay.
Yeah.
Ended up with
All right.
raccoon and squirrel bite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Story for the peeps.
But speaking of Halloween,
There you go.
on let me make sure I get my right date. Saturday, October the 30th.
Yeah,
we're gonna be
Halloween's on
doing
Sunday,
our
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be doing our costume contest, and I'm gonna call it a trunk or treat. But right now, it's just three of us giving out candy. So giving out candy event.
You would have to.
You need to set
need
up.
more
You know what?
people.
You know what? In order to enter the costume contest, you should have to provide a bag of candy. That's your entry fee into the costume contest.
Yeah, a
And
big
you
old
don't-
Bring a
bag.
toy for the Toys for
Well,
Tots.
that'd be
kid.
good
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Be good.
And then we're also going to be doing a craft show from 12 to 5 down in, here. I was going to point down there, but down here. So in
Same
the
day?
room. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I figured that way at least we're getting traffic over there, so it'll help to funnel traffic over here. And I might do something where if you come over here and buy something from the people set up, maybe give you like a discount over in the store or something.
What time's that start?
12 o'clock.
All right.
You got any crafts you want to? Well, I think we've actually rented out the whole room.
Yeah. Well, I don't think so. That would have been a good time to have a diorama ready.
No, I don't have
wouldn't
it all rented out
You
yet.
made
I
any?
need to have it.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of work.
I told Tess, I was like, hey, look, if you get out of work or whatever, like, I'm going to sit you down and teach you how to do this. And we're going to start making these. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you could get it like
Yeah, pump out like
assembly lines,
2
kind
a
of where you
week.
could.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could pump out like 5 a week,
And you could.
and you
'cause-
sold them for
yeah, if you have a
$250.
generic.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple things you could take the time to create to do some
Yeah.
time saving kind of things.
Shoot.
Like that brick pattern. If I had a
Like
a
a
metal
template that you
something
could
you
just-
just mash down, oh man, you'd
Well,
be
you
done
could
so fast.
if you could solder, so you could
Mhm.
solder
250.
grids and then just heat it up with a heat gun and they go.
Yep.
psst,
Yep.
and
I just hadn't took the time to figure that out, but
Yep.
yeah,
that would be the easiest.
they sell fast, so
Yeah.
it's money in the bank.
You could
but
sell 5 a week at $250.
Mhm.
You'd make $12.50 a week.
Yeah.
Supplemental income.
Wouldn't be bad.
That wouldn't be bad at all.
No.
Especially because I imagine the cost is of
Oh
one.
my gosh! By the time you got
You
it
probably
rolling,
got $20 in
Yeah,
like
once you get
material.
it
not
where you're
even,
not wasting
not
material.
even. You might have $20 in making 5 of them.
Yeah, so I mean,
you know.
that's huge profit
Yeah.
margin other than your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, if you could
But if you're doing the same
speed
ones,
the process up,
Yeah, I'd be making all 5 at the same time, like
Yeah.
all the paints in one pass and all the
Yeah.
then get your
for
paint
sure.
gun.
I think if you stuck with like alleyways
Right.
or a
Don't
rooftop,
get
Warehouse.
you know, a warehouse.
making a specific. This is Xavier Academy. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
don't do
No, no,
that.
no,
No, yeah. Just like generic scenes that
This
you
is
would
a
come
sewer.
across.
This is a subway.
Yeah.
This is a that kind of
There's
stuff.
Maybe a
wall.
forest.
Yeah, when you start getting into nature,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Nature is hard.
Hard-
It'd be
it's
hard
hard to
streamline.
recreate
It
nature.
is.
Plus moss and trees.
Yeah, that's
and-
what I mean.
There's
Yeah.
not a lot of superhero
You
going
want
on in the woods.
you want stuff 90
No,
degrees.
that's where
You
the
want
bad
stuff.
stuff happens.
You know, I've always thought it'd be cool if you did come out with like all superheroes live in the city.
Yeah.
You know, what if you had a comic character, who lives out in the country, like an
Yeah.
Alabama
he-
superhero
But
that's
he
a rural
wouldn't be able
superhero.
to get to the crime happening in
well,
time.
Well, so
Well-
that's what the problem is. So there is
Yeah.
a Batman, and he's like he is the Batman of this Indian tribe. Like,
Uh-huh.
and you never heard much. I can't. His name is Man of Bats. I think that's because you know how they have weird names, and that's what it is. Like he is Batman in that area, and if something goes down, he takes care of it. But most of the time, it's the lame stuff that happens. Like, oh, this family needs corn or whatever, so
You know-
Batman provides corn. It's not like there's not
Well, you
crime
could do
happening.
a good rural one because there's a lot of meth heads that live in rural areas.
Yeah.
They're all the time doing a bunch of crazy stuff.
Most of the time, if it takes place in rural, it's going to be like a horror comic or
but
something.
he
Yeah.
needs to be. He can't be a Batman. He has to be a superpowered entity. That could have like.
I
almost
make
like
I make the crops grow.
No, but like, hey,
the deer hunter.
a meth lab, and you got these meth heads
Yeah,
doing
you
B&Es,
could,
he's
you could.
busting it up.
You
he's
could,
a country.
but most of the stuff that's cool about Spider-Man is him swinging through New York City. Like if you
Yeah.
had something similar to
And
that,
you can
swinging
hear
through.
him yelling over here in this alleyway because the crime
It's
always
so
happens in the
far away.
alleyway.
That's why I'm saying
Right.
that he has to have like super hearing or something
Yeah.
like that, where
Yeah,
he
but it still
can
don't
hear
matter
everything.
if you're still like 25
And he
minutes
can
away
fly.
and someone's committing a murder.
Yeah, but we got
25
Superman,
minutes,
and he
you're gonna
can
be
hear. So if
dead.
we need Superman, he'll fly out there real fast.
But he
and
doesn't.
do it.
Exactly.
He does. He has.
We don't know if he has.
Nobody's helping the rural people. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
superhero
That's 'cause they
for
help
the
themselves.
rural.
They got guns.
and we're most of us are good people.
Yeah,
it's the scum
we
that
are.
lives in the city. That's
Well,
where you got
true.
to
Exactly,
That's-
yeah.
I mean, that
We
probably is a lot of
we
it.
call our own nuts
I
out
was
here in
about
the
to say,
country.
Exactly.
You know.
Like I said, it goes back to the alleyways. You just stay out of the
Exactly.
dark
We
alleyways at
take
night
care of our
time.
own.
Yeah.
And there's you're
Exactly.
fine.
You know what? You know how many people? Well, I can't say that.
Don't
'cause
go to the
as
banks.
soon as I say it, somebody busts my house. But like, you know how many people I've had to fight and kill in my house at Friday at a reasonable hour at home. You know,
Yeah.
But how many people in the city have relatively had to actually do that? Not many.
not according to the
city?
Marvel and DC comics.
Well, people live in apartments there, so
They're
you
getting
and they got
mugged.
doormans, they got numbers and codes you got to put
Yeah,
in. So it's just
right.
banks and alleyways.
Yeah,
You stay
you
out of the
stay
banks.
out of
You
them.
stay out of the alleyways.
If there's not a good street
Well,
light,
that's
you don't
hard.
need to
Ask
be
Bruce
there.
Wayne.
Yeah.
Stay out of the
Yeah,
alleyways about
absolutely.
time.
I'm just saying it'd be kind of neat.
That's literally
Hey, it could be done because it's the same thing as why Batman can get out of any situation he wants to. You could write enough situations to where it makes sense.
where it
And I'll
works.
bet if we dug deep enough, we'd find somebody that's probably exactly like what you're talking about. But
There isn't.
so
Just start
Well,
Redneck Man.
other than Superman when he lived in Smallville,
there you go.
Again, he could hear. He
I
could
just
fly.
told you.
what I'm
As
saying.
long as you can
I just,
fly.
I just
like,
told you about Man of
fast.
Bats. He's taking care of a reservation
Yeah,
full
but he's
of.
doing
Exactly.
stupid stuff.
No,
Oh, they need
he's
corn?
he's doing whatever needed to be done.
Yeah, but he ain't beating up.
But he
villains.
knows Batman, and Batman can, and he rolls with Batman sometimes. Like, and it was during that. So it was during that Grant Morrison crap that I hated. But it was like Grant Morrison's going to pull out all these characters that nobody cares about, and I'm going to write something good enough that you care about them. So that's where that man.
Did he have a
came in.
Batman suit?
He has a Batman
Man
head.
in
He
Bats.
had
I
a
wanna see
Batman
this.
headdress, feathers, and everything.
Well, that's not
but,
it.
There's
What kind
a
of
whole
Indian are
article
we
on
talking
why,
about?
why are there no rural superheroes?
there you go.
When you say Indian, you're talking
Native American.
American Indians.
Native
I
Americans.
thought we were talking about.
no,
India
no, 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 no.
Indians.
No, Native Americans.
Why would they need corn?
And why would it be
Well,
called Man of Bats? Like that's
Yeah.
that's like his Indian name, like Sitting Bull or whatever. Like
I don't know what Indians call themselves.
It's been a
he
long
called
day.
himself Man of Bats.
Like like Indians.
Oh, not Man of Bats. They would call themselves
It's
something in the
like
Indian
Man of Cow.
language. I don't know. That's offensive.
Pull up a
probably.
picture of Man of Bats. I want to see this guy.
You have a phone.
I
literally
got a
right
phone.
There.
Yeah, look up Man of Bats.
I was looking.
And there's
it
a
up.
whole league of them. Like he's not the only one. Like there was a
So he takes care of stuff on the reservation.
yeah. And then there was one that was like a Japanese Batman that they went and found out. And like I think he had been murdered and like his sidekick had taken over or something. It was a bunch of weird stuff that happened during that Grant Morrison run. I wasn't a fan of it.
I can't even. Is his name? Oh,
I
here
think
he
it's
is.
Man of Bats, and he's got like a Batman cowl, but it's got like a Native American headdress behind
There
it.
he is.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
They made a figure.
I made a figure.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I mean, he looks cool.
I mean, for what he is, yeah. But there's your
Does he
rural
have a
superhero.
tomahawk?
Yeah, I think so. And he has a son that's his sidekick that goes on. I can't remember what his name is, but he has
Son
like
of
a
Man
little
of Bats?
son of Man of Bats.
Yes.
Man of Bats Jr.
That's probably what it is.
And it's he's got like a little red helmet or something that he wears.
No.
And like Man of Bats got whipped up pretty good or something. Something happened to him, and his son had to take over for whatever reason. I don't know.
He got whipped up.
I can't, who knows?
He got axed.
Yeah, he did. You know how it gets rough in the rural, on the
You got an
reservation.
arrow to the kneecap.
That's probably, or the casino.
Scalp.
Somebody come out of the casino mad or something. Who knows?
Rural areas get rough.
I know
They
they
need a
do.
superhero. I'm
That's
gonna write a
true.
comic book.
This
I
says,
need
could
any
you
artist out
imagine-
there that want to team up.
There you go.
Yeah. This said, could you imagine the Hatfields and McCoys with superpowers?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We're
Oh yeah,
gonna come
Cowboys
out with
versus Aliens, wasn't that it? Yeah.
That's a good movie. I like that.
So
That was a good movie.
I'm gonna come up with a real superhero.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. I want to pitch next episode. I want to hear the whole backstory or whatever. How he got his redneck powers and
It would work better if it was
Instead of
like
a
set
Batmobile, he's
back
got
in,
like a big four-wheel drive.
Western times, kind of.
There's a cowboy Spider-Man.
speaking of cowboy, I ended up finding 2 of that Gunslinger Spawn at Target in Decatur.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Figure.
yeah.
I've seen pictures.
Found them
of it
hanging on the
other day.
shelf.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Oh, I got my Gunslinger Spawn comic
Didn't
back.
you end up getting a good grade on it?
I got a 9.4.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ain't sold it yet?
I just got it back.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. What did your Spider Gwen end up grading?
9.4.
Yeah. Cool.
It would have got a
Expensive books.
9.8, but that
the code was
was
dang,
halfway
that
torn.
Sucks.
That
That
sucks.
sucks.
I got a lot better, really, though. I mean, because it had a few issues on the cover. You know, luckily when he pressed it, it all came out good.
That's good.
So if you need somebody to press and clean your comics, we know somebody.
Yeah, just bring them to the
In
store and
Hartselle.
y'all hook it up, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you his card. You can
Yeah.
take care of taking it.
Oh, you're not the middleman no
I'm
more.
not middleman.
No.
Are you middleman in Pokemon cards anymore, or is that
No.
off the? That's
That's
done
not-
too.
I'm not
We're not
great.
even buying them
I'm
right
not
now.
even buying
'cause
Pokemon cards.
Really?
We got so many.
Yeah.
Got so many, and
Has
it's
the
ca-
bubble busted, or is it slowing down?
It's going
There's
back
definitely
down again.
Yeah.
there's been a pin broke in the
Yeah.
bubble. It's theirs going out.
Yeah. Have you
just been
seen
hard
values
for a
dropping,
year
or
and
people
something.
just
Oh,
not
yeah.
buying? Really?
Both.
Some values.
Really?
Both.
I think what's happened with a lot of some of the older stuff, when anything gets expensive,
Mm-hmm.
people think I may have that,
Yeah.
and they start digging.
You
till
start
they
finding more.
And then they
and then next
Yeah.
thing you know, they
Yes.
got it.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening with a lot of that, especially stuff from like base set to like, I don't know, like gym stuff, like a lot of people ended up having it.
Yeah.
And they've been digging it out.
and the
And,
people that found on, they got on that trend early and got people digging in their attics or whatever, made out like a bandit.
Yeah. So it's just kind of slowed down, which I expected that to happen because everything is on a boom and bust
Everything's in
cycle. I mean,
cycles.
there's nothing that isn't, you know.
Yep.
So I knew that it would inevitably pop. It would go down, but
Yeah.
it'll bubble up again.
Yeah, and there's going to be hardcores that they don't care. Like,
Yeah, I mean-
they'll look at it as a good thing that they're able to get some of these cards a little
You
cheaper.
can still sell it.
Yeah.
It just hasn't sold like it was selling.
Yeah.
And I just got too much.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't want anymore.
you got a bunch that hadn't seen a lot of day in years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much of it. So I don't want any more right now.
Mm.
I've been buying a lot of stuff. Like I don't want no more Xbox 360s.
PS1.
I don't want no
Yeah.
PS1s. I don't want no Wii,
Skylanders.
Skylanders, Disney Infinities,
Got so many.
bunch
so
of stuff.
Many.
I don't want no loose Legos.
No,
Oh,
we're
man.
not buying loose Legos.
No loose Legos.
Don't really want no loose Transformers.
I'll take
Oh,
loose
I
I don't know.
Transformers.
I just can't verify all the pieces and parts.
That's
today.
quick
That's
to do that,
okay, though,
You
like,
send me a
as long
picture
as
while you
it's
got them in
not
the store. I'll
broke.
tell you.
Hey, I do have Bumblebee Ultimate Bumblebee. I need you to finish transforming for me.
Oh,
he's
he's
not-
easy.
I've
he's
got
easy.
it 50%.
You can transform him. He's a level 4.
Yeah.
Which-
He's
yeah.
that big one.
Yeah.
I got
I
him
don't know if you can do
50%.
I can do it.
Can you? Are you good at transforming them?
Yeah, pretty, I mean, yeah.
No, you said all I need. You didn't sound too confident.
Uh-huh, we'll figure
He's
it
a
out.
level 4.
Oh. If it's the one I'm thinking of,
It's the movie.
He comes in the round package.
He's in a
where
big
his
box
Camaro's
like
like
this
this
big.
big,
Yeah.
and he's like this
And
big.
the box
if
is
that's the one I'm
circular.
thinking of, he's dirt simple.
He ain't dirt stuff.
That's the one I think. The one that is actually named Ultimate Bumblebee came out with the first movie in 2007. The original one came out in a rectangular box that had like a flap on it. Now
You're
I
saying
think. Well, I'm saying I think they have re-released him in a different packaging or whatever.
He probably is like built. He's probably gonna be like that big.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. Got sound and lights and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got one at the house right now. I can do it.
I got him 50% took apart. He was in car form, and I need him back in robot form.
Okay.
And there's no videos.
Oh, well, that's even easier.
There's no videos of it going from that to that, and the clips on it are so tight, pulling them apart.
You're trying to get him from car to robot. Usually, you just got to yank on them a little bit, and they'll figure themselves out.
Well, it's turning this way and that way, and pulling
I
this
haven't
tire
attempted it.
out.
Renee's the
We
one that's
can
been
get
doing
it.
it.
Yeah.
We
but
get it. It's usually harder. It's usually 10 times harder going from car or from robot to car because that's usually where they get origami kind of shapes or whatever. But
so there's there's videos of it going
You
that
never
way, and I
remember.
try watching
Yeah.
the video and like rewind here, rewind to take it back. And
there's a
no
lot of people, at
reverse.
least on the
And
newer
there's no
stuff.
instructions with
There's
it.
a bunch of people now on the newer stuff that know that, and
Yeah.
they'll tag their videos as like, okay, this is car to robot. You know, they'll put up 2 videos.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of people that are doing stop motion now to where they'll go both back and forth.
That's the other
you
problem
know,
too with
up
the
and down.
videos is it's crap.
Yeah.
So like they're going super fast, but then they're also way up here in front of the camera, so you're
Well,
missing the whole.
I've
what's
got
being
some people
transformed,
that
and I'm
make.
like,
I've got people that I've known that do it for years,
Yeah.
and I go look for their video because I
Yeah.
know they know that they're keeping it on the camera. It's good quality
Yes.
footage, and
Take
they
your time.
and they'll explain like hey, be careful right here, you
Yeah.
know, because they may have already broke theirs because they get the stuff super early, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, there's definitely certain people that are better than others.
yeah, I've never. I don't like Transformers.
I don't mess with them much, and most of the time, the only ones that I'll ever fool with is usually if you buy a Masterpiece, most of the time they come in their vehicle mode. So I will transform them one time to get them a robot, and then they go on the shelf. Most of the time, I don't ever fool with it.
I can handle like Power Rangers Zords.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
They're not.
they're just.
I'll
Like
tell you
snapping
what,
something in
the years through, like, the old ones are obviously real simple. Even through the 90s and 2000s stuff, like that Unicron trilogy or whatever, those are pretty simple. The day that the figures from Revenge of the Fallen came out, they tripled or quadrupled their complexity. They are like, I mean, they honestly are. There are some of those that, like, after given enough time, I just don't think you could sit down and figure it out without some sort of instructions.
Without the instructions?
They are crazy hard, and now they have started slowly. They're getting more and more simpler because the less parts they have, the cheaper they are. The more profit they're making. So they have come back around to where they're a lot easier. Until you get into the Masterpiece stuff, those are still super complex. But the ones you find at Walmart, those are pretty simple.
Well, like they should never kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that adults buy them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
But
the
they're
nicer ones, of
marketed,
course.
technically speaking, to children.
So
What
that's
child is transforming
around
a
the
hard
time that
Geniuses.
yeah,
people like Joey.
I don't want to, No, but I was getting back into where I was actually buying some that I was going to open or whatever. And I guess Revenge of the Fallen was probably and I know it was. That was the movie where I started buying a few that I was actually going to open. And so I've got fond memories of that. Like, they are super complex. Like, this is crazy that this thing costs $13.
And
it
like
has
a Rubik's
it is.
Cube.
It really is. It's like one step down from a Rubik's Cube. No kidding. Like, the difference between the figures from the first Transformers movie to the second, I mean, I'm not kidding. It's night and day. They are so much more
I
complex.
wonder why they did that.
I don't know, but they built up to that, and I think they actually just figured out through market surveys or whatever. It's like, these are too hard.
People don't like
And
that.
from then on, they started backing it down. Not that there's not one every now and then that'll
Yeah.
be, somewhat difficult, but as a general rule, they're a whole lot simpler. But man, those Revenge of the Fallen toys, golly. Some of those little
That's
twins.
not even a good movie.
You remember? I like it all right. You remember the little orange and green cars, the little twins or whatever that were like.
I try to forget everything about those movies.
Anyways, their little cars, they were some of the more complex
I
ones.
don't really like
those.
Transformers.
Yeah, well,
Like, it has a cool premise
who
behind
asked
it.
you?
Yeah. But it's like, it's on the bottom of the totem pole of stuff I like.
They're
This is before you time.
Yeah,
for
you
to
don't-
get into
yeah.
I
it.
just now like
Well,
the
you
movie-
also didn't play with Legos though either.
I
So
don't like
I mean,
Legos,
See, Legos and Transformers, that was the smart kid toys.
I
I,
love
don't know if
Legos.
that. I don't know what that says. I'm not going to say that that
I was
means
writing
that.
novels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I
I'd
was
like
that
to hear
kid.
about rural superheroes.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to find that. I need to go to my parents' house and find that rough
you
draft
do.
I
need
did
to.
about
you,
that.
You
rural
might be
superhero.
sitting on a gold mine right
I
Speaking
am
of the
sitting on a
rural-
gold mine.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that is a gold
Well,
mine.
speaking of the rural
indie comic book.
superheroes, this person said why they wouldn't work. I was
He don't
like,
know what
well,
he's talking
you
about.
can't have Spider-Man swinging his way around corn stalks along the prairie.
Yeah.
Well, no, what I'm
And
getting
Iron
at,
Man would run out of juice for his repulsors by the time he flew across North Dakota to get to a threat at Mount Rushmore in South Dakota.
no, he wouldn't.
I
Wow.
don't know.
Used to he
it
would because
says-
used to he actually had to plug it into a socket
Yeah,
like in the
charge
60s,
up.
in the 60s.
And that there's serious obstacles in the way of top tier superheroes when it comes to converting the massive Midwest, and secret identities would be even harder to keep hidden in a small town because everybody's so nosy.
I'll tell
Every
you,
neighbor knows each other's business.
that's true. That's a
Said
good point.
Batman's super tech.
It'd be easier
and
to figure out who
Batcave
that
will be
He's
person
a
quickly
is.
recluse
discovered.
that nobody even
quickly.
knows he lives in the town.
I said you
he
can't
lives
have
up in the mountains in the woods that
You
nobody
can't have
even
a
knows about.
Batmobile in a potato field.
Oh man.
Snooping,
So here's
snooping
the
problem
locals
with
would
this
probably
guy.
bust the secret
He
identity in a
lives
matter
in the
of
city
weeks.
and he's
The problem with this
Because of
guy
gossip.
is
Yeah.
he's basing it on superheroes who
operating the city.
who have
Yeah.
to operate in the city.
Yeah.
There's superheroes with powers that like the
Like,
Century.
what's that Geo guy or whatever that's in DC that like, he controls the ground?
Oh, Geoforce.
yeah. So like,
yeah.
he could do it.
Yeah, anybody that can fly, that can hear really well, that has super strength and crap like that, can all make.
If I'm
A
Spider-Man,
rules-
I can make it work.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it says here too that
This dude's an idiot.
you know,
He always
Wolverine
so
grew up in Alberta, Canada, and
Yeah.
spent his tragic backstory days in the Yukon, and even stayed with the Blackfoot
Yeah.
Indian tribe for a short stint.
Yep.
Said, "Where's Captain Middle America?"
and I'm not like mine
He's
would be
coming.
a southern superhero, in the
Yeah.
rural south.
He would have an
Captain Southern America.
he would have an
Captain
enchanted.
Confederacy,
he
like
would have
that
an
old comic
enchanted.
book.
Yeah, well, you
You
already
ever
got
see
that. You get sued.
I
That's
wouldn't
already
do
a
that
name.
anyways. My guy
What'd
would
you
be.
say, Captain Confederate?
Yeah, you never seen that
Confederacy,
comic?
yeah, there's a
Confederacy,
comic,
uh-uh.
yeah.
It's an old comic book from like the 80s, and
Yeah.
so think Captain America,
Yeah, sure.
except for his outfit's a giant rebel flag.
Yeah.
It would not go fly nowadays
No,
at
no,
all.
yeah.
But I think I could make a rural superhero.
It'd be like the wrecker with his crowbar. You'd have like an enchanted hoe or something, or a pitchfork or something.
No.
Here's an article says, "What if
Not a-
DC's Justice League were Old West cowboys?"
Now see, I think that's where it would work the best.
You don't have a
It
posse
would.
then.
Old
You'd be
West
like,
would,
"You
yeah.
go this
Like-
way,
Because
you go
because
that way."
everybody is in the same time. It would be the same
Yeah.
thing. Spider-Man is operating in his time and his environment. Well, if we're all in the Old West, that's as big as it gets. So whatever I do operates in that environment.
Oh, there is
know.
one. It's called Justice Riders.
There's been like Batman's had stories
Well,
where he was in
Jonah
the Wild
Hex.
West. Yeah,
But I mean, the West would be much like
Yeah.
old school West would
it'd
be
be
much
easier
easier
to
to do.
Yeah, because you read like old West comic books or whatever, and like the Gunslinger kind of.
Actually, a long time ago, I had a slight idea for a guy like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's an Indian tribe
Here we go.
that because they realized that they were going to encroach on their land, they created this way to put a bubble around their land that nobody could get in and out of.
Wakanda?
Wakanda. That's what I was fixing to say.
It kind of like it, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like old Indians, like the
Okay.
trap, like back in like they even have like dinosaurs and stuff like that.
Like the
Trap-
Savage Land.
It's like, yeah, I guess it's kind of like that. And a dude somehow manages, like a mountain man, manages to get his way into this said land.
Like
and
Steve
somehow-
Trevor on Themyscira.
And then somehow a dinosaur or something there attacks him, and it ends up giving him some kind of like ability to transform into like a T-Rex.
It's like Sauron.
And then you can call him Texas Rex.
Okay.
Tex Rex.
It's pretty cool, right? Texas Rex.
If he's
Yeah.
from Texas.
And he can transform into like a humanoid T-Rex.
Okay.
Like
There
Beast Wars?
is a new character that Marvel just, and maybe he's not new, but it's Reptile Boy or
I
something like
saw
that. You seen
some-
that?
yeah.
And that's kind of what he does, I think.
They
don't he?
probably
Turns
stole that
into
idea from me.
Probably. Yeah.
But you can't say that that's not a semi-cool premise.
Yeah, it was the 3 times other people did it. Yeah,
It's not
it worked
the-
out great for them.
Hey, there's nothing new under the sun.
That's
And
true.
every story is a rehash of 5
It
plot
absolutely
lines.
is.
So
It
you
absolutely
can't create
is.
anything that isn't already done to some degree
Right,
in terms of like the feel of it.
right.
But it would be unique in its own.
Which, have you got anything further on this?
Or you got like the Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah,
Batman
the
goes
Victorian
after
Batman?
the Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, and that's a good
That's a
story.
good-
It's a good
yeah,
one,
yeah,
yeah.
that is
That
good.
animated movie's pretty decent.
Or the
Yeah, I liked
last
it.
family of Krypton, where Superman's Kryptonian parents managed to join their son on Earth.
I don't think I've ever read that one.
Last family of Krypton.
How'd they manage that when they blew up?
For Justice Riders, the Wild West
Probably
replaces
alternate,
the modern
like they didn't
present.
grow up. No, but maybe they went on the rocket with him or something. I
It's
guess.
like the Justice League taking a vacation to Westworld or spend some time playing Red Dead Redemption.
Speaking of Westworld, no, I will talk about that later if we get to it or whatever. But talking about you can't do anything new or whatever, I went night before last and watched Halloween Kills, the new Michael Myers
I'm ready to
flick.
see that one. We haven't seen it yet.
I didn't like the last Halloween.
Everybody said this one's good.
It's
Well, I've
not.
seen mixed
It's-
reviews.
it's
They
not.
said if you go by all the other ones, it's not. But it's like
I've become of the opinion that I don't think that you can make.
A better than one than the first one?
Well, that being said, I don't think that you can make a new modern, if you want to call it slasher, or like super powered for whatever reason slasher killer movie. It's all been done.
Yeah.
This movie does nothing new. It retreads every mistake anybody has ever made in a horror movie or whatever. Like, if you get the upper hand on him,
kill him.
you keep going until his head is a puddle.
Yeah, why you not shoot him in the brain?
And this happens. Oh my God! Some of this, honestly, when some of the fights break out in this movie, it's almost. It makes you think, it's like, man, they're fixing to go full Matrix with this thing, like choreographed kung fu almost, like choreographed fights and stuff. It's terrible. It's a horrible movie. Like,
those slasher movies in general,
I don't think you can do it anymore.
At least not coming out with the same ones.
Well, it's like, okay, you've got this guy. He's big. He's strong. You know, stuff happens, like, you know, he can be in places that it doesn't. And they don't do this so much in this movie, to where it's like
the woman's from like over here to
she's
now
running
he's in
full,
front of you.
Right. They don't really do that. They do kind of, you know, it doesn't
make it more realistic.
Right, but he is completely unstoppable. There's stuff that happens to him in this that, like, there's no explanation for as to it's not. They don't get into like it's supernatural or there's no explanation for it. And I'm not asking for their, you know, I don't know why those worked when they did. I think it's more
they were never done.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it is, and I think the reason they hold up now,
shock and awe.
it is kind of. That's what I mean. Now they go from, if it's gore is the only thing those movies exist for anymore.
Yeah,
and we
I heard
watched
that it was super gory. Like the murder scenes, I guess, were a little bit more gory.
Yeah,
than normal.
they are. It is a little gory, but
Netflix,
that don't do nothing for me. Like, you know, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, Netflix just put the movies that made us.
Yeah.
Season 3.
Yeah.
And Halloween's the first one on there.
Okay.
And the guy who came up with it grew up watching those old radio horror shows.
Yeah.
And he made it a point that he wanted it to play exactly like those. You know, you don't see anything because it's a radio. You see the makeup.
Right.
So he
you don't
didn't
see
want
them actually get murdered, but
you never
know
see,
they just got murdered.
Yeah, so like the Halloween movie, you never see any blood, and you never technically see Michael Myers actually killed.
Wait a minute, you say you don't see blood in the old Halloween movies?
Yeah, in the very first one, there's no blood.
There's no blood. I think there might be one scene.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, there he is.
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah. When he kills that babysitter in the car or whatever, like, he cuts her throat, I'm pretty sure she bleeds.
Oh, no, wait, that's a different one.
Yeah, which one are
you
talking
about? What was the other one?
I'm
Halloween.
talking about
what was
Halloween. The
first
first
Halloween has blood in it.
I don't think there's any blood. He made it a point that there was no blood. I can't remember, but I know in that thing they said there was no blood.
Carry on for a minute.
But anyways,
what's the other one?
it has
Not
more
Halloween,
of that.
Not Friday the 13th.
Got a bunch of blood.
There's a lot of blood.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
That's when he
got a
goes
lot
around
of
killing
blood.
all the babysitters. No, it's not.
But anyways, he didn't want it to be gory.
Yeah.
And he wanted you to let your mind do a lot of the filling in the blanks kind of thing with it.
Yeah, the Halloween.
And I think that's why it still holds up good and plays so well.
Friday the 13th is the one with all the blood and gore where it takes the axe to the
and see the guys who made that movie
slash her throat through the window.
You know, went the opposite. They're like, "There's no blood in Halloween, and no gore."
You might be right. Like I never paid attention to that, but you might be right that the first one does.
It'll show them like grabbing them, and then
that's
their
what they
feet
said on
like
that
kicking
show.
out, and then
And the guy who created it was made it a point that he wanted no blood.
John Carpenter.
Yeah, he directed it, but the guy who actually came up with it, the guy who owns that film company or whatever that it's under, you know, he came up with the whole idea basically of the movie. It was gonna be called The Babysitter Murders.
Yeah, Babysitter Murders.
Yeah, and they changed it to Halloween because it was gonna come out on Halloween. That's a really good the movies that made us.
Yeah.
But he didn't want any of that. He wanted it to
That's
have
why
like
the other people pick Friday the 13th because it's bad omens of Friday the 13th. So that's what we'll name our movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I that stuff I'm sure would probably still terrify me as a child with a child's mentality or whatever. But as a grown person, the only horror, and I don't get scared of nothing, but the only horror movies that are like really enjoyable to watch are the stuff that have some sort of a supernatural something like
ghost.
We don't know what's going on. Like I honestly think like it's been played out so much now that now they're becoming the slasher movies. But like when those Paranormal Activity movies came out, they struck on something that hadn't been done.
If that was real or not.
That's
real
what I mean.
first.
That's what I mean. And just the way there's some of the things that are now contrivances, I guess, even in those kinds of movies or whatever. That was some new stuff. And I guess people would say that probably about the Blair Witch Hunt too.
It started that.
Creepy, yeah.
It did.
Yeah,
but I thought.
Well, the thing about the paranormal
Right.
stuff is though that all that stuff's happened to people.
Right.
Like them weird, creepy things of pulling out of bed and jerking sheets and chairs flying. All that actually happens.
It was stuff that's like they ease you into it.
People
So
get murdered too.
Well, I know people get murdered too, but
Yeah.
I'm saying
That's why I
like,
feel like-
a murderer though, that's a physical person, and you can be like, we can catch that person.
and it would be so easy.
Something flinging
It
a
would be-
chair across your
If
room.
there was
you can't
somebody
catch
as
that.
supernatural as Michael Myers or Friday the 13th,
Yeah.
they would have the National Guard in here. There's no way this guy could survive on Earth.
Yeah.
It ain't, you
No.
know, we know where he's
He
going.
wouldn't be
He
Brian Landry.
and why is his house? He
Yeah, how have I not
always
found
his
that guy?
house is an anchor. He always ends up
Yeah,
at his
goes
house.
back. And they
Why
know
is the
it.
house still there?
Just
That's
wait
what
on
I
him and
said.
shoot him
I
in
was
the
like,
head.
why not?
It would be so easy.
Tear the
It would
house
be
down.
so-
Why do they keep letting people
Like
live
in
this
this
house?
movie, obviously Michael Myers is in. Did you see the last one? With
Yeah,
that-
yeah.
So they lock
Yeah,
him
yeah.
in there and blow the
And
house up or
burn it,
whatever.
yeah.
Surprise,
And
surprise.
if he went through a fell on the floor.
There's some reason he didn't. Oh man!
Yeah.
So the fireman.
fell through
I'm
the
not gonna.
floor
He
or
kills all the
something.
firemen. I know.
Have you
right?
Oh,
seen
yeah.
that? Have you seen that?
It shows
I
the
saw
previews.
that.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
That's where it breaks in. It's like, oh man, they're fixing to go into the Matrix.
He ain't
fighting
dead in
here
this
or
next
whatever.
one because I've heard they're making
Oh
another.
no, he's not dead. No,
Yeah.
he's well alive in the
I
This
say
is
though,
supposed to be
this
the
has
last
got
one.
nothing to do with Halloween or nothing with any horror movies. you
we
know what
go.
movie's gonna be
I was gonna
hilarious?
say you gotta pee. That's what I was gonna
Yeah,
I
say.
do gotta
that's,
pee.
I do too.
The new Jackass movie.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw the
oh my-
poster for it.
Well, when we
Well,
went,
when you go watch Venom, you'll
Yeah.
get the
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks
trailer.
hilarious.
I was
Yeah.
laughing.
Renee-
There was only 7 of us in the whole theater.
Renee was
I
laughing so
laughing.
hard at that trailer that I mean, I was even like,
I
"Man,
can't
I'm
believe
gonna
y'all
move
went to
away
the
from me."
movies and watched a movie.
I can't believe we did
We
it.
hadn't been
So
since
weird.
Endgame.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
But
so
we went and
weird.
watched Venom on
$52
Sunday. There was like
for
nobody in there.
2 tickets, a tub of popcorn, 2 drinks,
Holy
and 2 milk
crap.
duds.
I don't do that. I don't buy
Yeah.
the food.
Yeah.
Anyway, did y'all just go to Decatur?
Yeah.
There was nobody
Yeah,
there.
there was 7 of us.
Yeah, there was.
I've been trying to get, or been with the intention of getting over there since it came out.
Yeah.
Like the hotel we stayed at in Stone Mountain,
Uh-huh.
directly across the road was a theater, and we had tons of downtime.
Yeah.
We could have easily went. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to get up and do nothing.
Venom's pretty good.
I want to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Venom's real good,
Yeah.
but that Jackass looks hilarious.
Yeah.
Jackass. I'm definitely gonna go watch Jackass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch it in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks good.
The part that made me crack up the most is they got like a food truck.
It was looked like a coffee, like a.
Well, either way,
Yeah.
they're selling stuff out of a van,
The
a
cast
bus.
of people are.
Well, no, it's I can't remember who the celebrity is.
It looked-
But
yeah,
they
it's-
got like you know how they
Oh,
get celebrities on
yeah.
there sometimes, and they're
Yeah.
just I don't know why they go on there.
No.
But he's
they
like
probably don't
ordering
know.
something through the window, ordering the food from him. You know, like those wavy inflatable guys, how
Mhm.
they're like tubed like
Mhm.
that. All of a sudden, he's leaned over and he's ordering stuff, and the tube just comes
He's got
busting out
his,
of the window, and it just knocks him flat out. I mean, he goes flying and knocks him out, and I died laughing.
And he's
so I'm
already
like,
got
if I
his
saw
drink,
this,
too.
yeah, he's already got his
Oh,
stuff. He's like,
buddy.
yeah, thank you, you did fine. I mean, right in his face, and just his
It
stuff
looks
goes
good.
flying. It was,
Yeah.
oh god, it's hilarious.
That's
Because I could just imagine. What tickles me the most is I imagine that actually happened to people
Oh,
and me
man.
seeing
Oh,
it in
gosh.
person because I would probably pee on myself laughing so hard.
Yeah, I hope I'm far enough away that they don't see me laughing
Yeah,
at
'cause-
them. Yeah.
and Johnny Knoxville's full blown gray.
Yeah.
Well, then he colored his hair though, because in half the stuff he's got brown hair.
Yeah, I know,
again.
but like in the
But he's like
beginning of
silver
the,
hair.
in the scenes,
Oh,
like
he's in,
like
he's
civil
got in his late
hair.
40s by now, though,
50.
right?
I think he's in his 50s.
He may be.
Yeah, I think he
may
is.
be.
I
But-
want to say that they said 54. I'm 54.
Oh, boy.
Too old
Probably.
for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe.
But man,
He don't look.
oh my.
Other than that gray hair, you don't really look.
Yeah.
And then one of the scenes, what is it? They have this like blow up thing, you know, like them blobs. That
Oh, they're
you
in a
always see?
furniture
Yeah, they're in
store.
a furniture store, and you know those blobs that like people jump off of and it knock you in the
Yes,
leg.
yes.
So they have a small version of that in this furniture store, and they jump on it. And they go through the ceiling and
Oh
just
my
come crashing down and
gosh.
like destroy. These you can see the salespeople and the customers in there like
That
oh
kind
my
of stuff, like I
God.
can't watch those Borat movies. That kind of stuff makes my skin crawl so bad that I'm so uncomfortable watching it that I can't even enjoy it. Like, oh man, it's terrible.
He's 50.
50, yeah, that sounds about right. Man,
Oh,
yeah, some of that
man.
stuff when people ain't in on it, like I can't take it. It makes my skin crawl.
One of mine that used to be my favorites is on the old ones. And he does one where he dresses as an old man again too, like
Yeah.
that grandpa. But when they would have that hand behind the wall, so
They
people
would
come
come out
around
and slap
the corner.
people. Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember them slapping Bam Margera with that thing one time. Like it just takes you off your feet.
They
It
tried
like
to
knocked
bring
him
back
out almost.
Oh,
all the old people, but
All
wa-
of them except
They
what,
didn't bring
one of-
Bam
I know
back. He's
that-
trying
that,
to like sue.
oh, Ron
Dunn's
he got
dead.
killed.
Yeah.
They're not
Bam-
bringing Bam because he's got.
He's just drug
drug
problems
and
too
alcohol
bad. They
problems.
tried to bring him into it, and I think he was supposed to be a part of the
He
show.
just couldn't
Yeah.
get clean.
It was just they're like, we can't do it.
Yeah.
You should say I watched
Steve-O's
He
his.
cleaned himself up, didn't he?
I think he's
Oh,
been
yeah,
clean for a
10
long
years
time.
or so.
Yeah.
I watched the video that Bam put out. I
He's a
can't
train
remember if it's
wreck,
on
right?
Instagram
he's a
or
train
it's awful.
wreck.
He's like crying
Yeah.
and just it's hard to watch.
I didn't ever like his show, going in there beating the crap out of his dad.
No, and then God, was that fat guy?
His uncle.
Uncle.
Don Vita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Like
they're both
Vito or
dead now.
I
something?
think they are.
I think his dad and his
Oh,
uncle.
I don't know about his dad. I knew his
Yeah, I
Don
don't think his
dead.
dad is.
I think his
Don
dad's
Vito
dead.
died.
Maybe, I don't know, because
Yeah.
he was
Yeah,
a big guy too.
Yeah. But yeah,
that-
he just beat the crap
the
out of
time-
him. Destroy his mama's house.
Yeah,
Oh.
there was some good stuff on that show. And then he did that Unholy Union or whatever, where he was like
Yeah,
following
Bam's
around.
Unholy
Yeah, when
Union.
he was getting married or whatever.
Yeah.
That didn't last long, I don't
No.
think. So, like, golly, who in the world would marry that guy? Like, you got to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't gonna last.
Mm.
I don't know.
But it's just so funny. I was dying. Like, it's just some funny stuff.
What else y'all been watching?
We watched the What Ifs.
I've seen the first 2 episodes of What If. They
you
were
ever
all
watch
right.
It Sunny in Philadelphia?
I used to. I've seen some of it. Yeah.
We binge watched the
oh
whole
yeah. Have you seen them all now?
Yeah.
And they're
Oh,
still like they're
yeah.
still making them,
Oh,
right?
oh yeah, yeah. I'm ready for the next season to come out.
Yeah.
Okay, so his dad's
Crazy
still alive.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was.
And then
Oh, now is his mom and dad still married? I want to say I was thinking that
Probably.
there was maybe his mom and dad got divorced or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
His mom's still alive. It says that she's still married to Phil Margera,
Yeah.
according
Okay.
to Wikipedia.
Yep.
Well, good for them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know,
You know,
right?
with a train wreck of a son like that, it's hard. That would have been some strain on that marriage, you'd think. So who knows?
Especially I'm always destroying her
I
stuff.
can't believe his
Yeah.
dad's still alive because he don't look. He is
Nah,
so
his dad
big.
looked pretty rough. Yeah, yeah.
I just
God,
can't.
you remember? I remember one time they went to a bar with Don Vito, and he had that nasty toenail, like his big
Oh.
toenail, and they paid this chick like she put like barbecue sauce on this nasty toenail and sucked it off his toe. It was so gross.
I'm
I
throw
wonder how
up.
much they
It was
paid him.
so gross. I don't
Greta
know.
had to pay me $1 million.
I don't know what it was, but
no,
she did
I
it.
still wouldn't even done it.
She did it.
The
Oh,
uncle's been dead for a while.
Yeah,
he
it's
died
been a
back
long
in
time. I think
2015.
I was thinking he died during
You
or
were
right after the
filming
show.
or- yeah.
Right. But maybe he did live a little longer now.
Obviously, he did some time in
And he would get
jail.
so flustered he couldn't speak, like, and they would put subtitles on the screen, and sometimes it wasn't even what he said. It's like we don't know what he said.
Or it's just
gosh.
symbols and stuff.
When that guy would get so worked up. So yeah, there was some good stuff on Bam's show. He had some stuff. It wasn't
Bam.
him. It was his.
Yeah, his family.
Yeah.
The reactions of the people he's doing
Right.
stuff to.
Jackass was always much overall much better
Oh,
show.
yeah.
than
I
that
didn't watch
show.
any of it, just
I'm
a
Johnny
ton.
Knoxville.
But when I tell you what, we did get whenever Robin Big. So there's Robin Big, and then he did his Fantasy Factory or whatever
Yep.
after that. We started watching around the
dear
time of
Dad.
the Fantasy Factory, and was interested in it enough that we went back and watched Robin Big, and boy, we did get into that for a while.
That show was okay.
I liked it
That's
all
all
right. I did like it.
Good MTV.
That guy's
cribs.
dead,
Yeah,
too.
what happened?
They started
yeah,
back
he did.
with
yeah.
he did.
MTV Cribs. They've done brought that back.
All right.
Yeah,
I
and
do
it's
gotta
people
go
you
pee.
literally don't
Alright.
care about.
And we're back.
Yeah.
A little bit of a false start there, but we'll get back on
Yeah,
track.
We're back.
Anyways, I got RoboCop on the
The movies that made us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that director's a real
Paul Verhoeven.
he's a real piece of work.
He's one of those guys like you can tell when he directed a movie. All of his movies have the same, like he did Total Recall. So
Yep.
if you see a movie where a dude gets shot and he's covered in squibs, like you see the blood, like you're going to see every wound this guy gets. That's a Paul Verhoeven movie. Like it's just the way he
Is
does.
that the where he gets shot and it's like the blood goes like on the wall behind him? What was that? 'Cause they showed like one. It's like, yeah, and the person went flying back to the wall and it's just blood just went.
All of his movies
All
are
up
that
the
way.
wall.
So you remember the guy that Ed 209 blows away in the boardroom or whatever in RoboCop?
Yeah, on the-
like I
he's
mean,
on
he
the
just
little
chews him to
diorama.
He just chews him up to hamburger meat, and then everybody he
Shot to bits.
he had so. I don't know this 100%, but based on the theory that I just said, he had to be the guy that directed at least the first Starship Troopers. Because it's the same way. All of the wounds and stuff, when somebody gets shot, he does not cut away. He's like, I want you to see
Yeah.
in graphic
Look at
detail.
that flesh ripping.
So there was this big idiot. He was like the big, strong, corn-fed boy or whatever that was in the when they were all training to be Starship Troopers. And like he falls and lands on his gun, and you see him a chick falls, and her gun goes off, and she shoots that guy in the head, and you see his head just get deformed from the bullets or whatever. I guarantee you, it's him. He did that movie.
He did do that.
Yeah, you can tell. Like it's just his format.
Yeah, Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't know where he's from. Is he Dutch or something?
He's from. I'm pretty sure that's what he is.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
Dutch director.
Yeah. Which he's made some good movies, but
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody
has
said
his-
he is like a little
Yeah,
crazy.
I'll bet he
He would
is.
literally. I mean, every person that they had on there, and they were just like, I can't remember the exact phrase, but it had the F bomb in it.
Yeah, right.
But he was like, "Are you effing with me?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, are you trying to F me?"
yeah,
Just,
yeah.
I mean,
So-
and all of them yelled that.
Some of them, like, so I watched some videos. You know, there's that new Matrix coming
Mm-hmm.
out. So I was watching some videos about the last ones, and they said they were talking to I think it was the director of photography. He was talking about how great the first one was. He's like, nobody really likes the second two or the last
Yeah,
second.
I mean,
and
they're
third.
alright.
They're okay.
I don't even care for the first one.
Yeah, well, that's your opinion. Anyway, but they were saying that's like so they shot those two movies in the same year. Like, you don't remember? I don't know if you remember, but the second and third one came out in the same year. There were 6 months between their theatrical releases.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was one. I think was it 2003? I want to say 3 or 5, something like that. Anyways, they were talking about the guy. He's like the sequels. It just wasn't the same thing. He's like, those Wachowskis or whatever had read some book that Stanley Kubrick wrote, and in that book Stanley Kubrick said that you don't get an actor's real performance until like the 90th take, and he said, and they took that to heart. He's like, we would just shoot stuff over and over and over. Yeah, he said, he's like, everybody hated it. Like, it was.
And that was the second and third one.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't think they must not have done that on the
Nobody
first
wants
one.
to
but
take 90 takes.
No, especially not in the Matrix. You know,
yeah,
all
but that guy
leather
that
and-
guy said if I could dig up Stanley Kubrick, I'd kill him. For writing that book. Oh man.
You saw where they sent Shatner to space?
I did see that. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of
He was
people-
on one of Bezos' rocket, right?
The Stanley Kubrick thing made me think about that because the ship kind of looked like the ship in
2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space Odyssey.
a
Yeah.
giant.
Are they back yet? I guess they are because
Oh, they were
it
up
was just
up.
going to space
Yeah,
and
yeah,
coming
they
back,
came back
right?
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw,
Yeah.
but I was thinking the reason
He's
I asked
90
it-
years old.
Yeah, he's 90 years old. He don't look it. I
No,
think
he
he's doing
don't.
pretty good for 90.
No, he's doing great. If I
Yeah.
can look
Yeah.
and move and get
Yeah.
around like William Shatner at
Yeah.
90, I'm all for being 90.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he looks like he...
I'd say 70. I'd say I
well-
ain't seen a real close
Maybe like
picture, but I would
72.
guess 70.
Well, just
yeah.
the way he
Yeah.
moves
Yeah.
around. I mean, well, okay, to get shot up into space, you have to be fairly physical
Absolutely.
able
Yeah.
to do
Unless
that.
they've made it a whole lot smoother than it used to be, and I can't imagine
It
he
can't
is.
be.
Yeah.
He has
How
to be
many
physically
G-forces?
fit
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
to be shot into space.
Yeah.
Sit in that centrifuge and spin.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm really surprised that he got
I
clearance.
can't
I know.
believe he done it. That's a huge props to William Shatner.
Yeah.
Paid him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Bezos.
They're like, I'm gonna pay you to fudge on my test.
Well,
my
what
heart
happens
test.
when you get him up there and he's dead? Like,
I
we
know,
get to
right?
space and it's like, we killed William Shatner, you know? I mean, he signed off on it.
Well, they
but
probably
still.
didn't say anything until after they made it back. Then they
Yeah.
were like, "Hey, we shot Shatner into space."
yeah, no, you can watch it live. I
No,
reckon you
they-
can watch
yeah,
it. Yeah,
they've
yeah.
been talking about it for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
Did he cry when he went up into space?
I'll
I
bet
know
he
he
cried when he got
cried in
there.
the interview, but did he
Yeah,
cry when he got
he
up?
cried
Yeah.
in the interview.
Yeah.
His description of it was, I mean, it was interesting
I mean,
hearing
it'd
him
be cool
talk
to
about
see.
it. How he was like, you shoot through, he's like, you look up from Earth, like, you know, down here, and you look, and the sky's blue,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't realize that you break through that blue,
Yeah,
and the moment you break through the blue, it's just blackness.
yeah.
I'd have been like,
That'd be
Shatner, where were
crazy.
you at
He-
the whole time they were showing space shots of Star Trek?
Yeah.
At the windows, it's black.
Well, I mean, he said, like, you don't realize, like, this
I
this
realized from all the space
level
movies I
of
watched.
blueness.
Dang.
He compared it like what he imagined like dying would be like or something.
You know
like
that it is weird. It's one of those abstract things that a normal person don't think about because we're most likely
Yeah,
we're
I'm
not,
never gonna leave this
we're not
earth
gonna see
until
it,
I
right.
die.
But honestly, like you go out today, it was a real sunny day today.
Yeah.
Bright, beautiful blue sky or whatever. You break the horizon,
Yeah.
you can't see the blue sky from space. It's just black.
You can see the
you
earth
know,
glowing.
That is a weird thing.
He
Like
was
there's got to be a
everybody
transition
needs
somewhere.
to do it.
Oh,
we
okay.
will eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no way in hell.
Yeah,
I
when we
would
got to
do it.
go colonize
wouldn't.
another
If
planet.
Jeff
'cause they
Bezos was
ruined
like,
this
"Hey
one."
man, on my
I'm
next
not talking about on this experimental, but when they do get like commercial flights or whatever, to where they could at least breach space and it's been proven to be safe or whatever. Like,
I don't want to get in a rocket.
Yeah, I was gonna say Philip can't do roller coasters.
That's a good point.
He can't do the
That's a
space
good
shot.
point. That's a good
You think
point.
I can get in a
You can't go to
rocket
the space shot,
and
just like,
shoot me
phew.
up
That's a good
into
point. That's a good
space
point. Yeah.
and then
He'd
fly,
pass out.
drop
He'd be
back
one of
down
those
in
people
that
that goes
thing?
on that little yo-yo thing that passes out. And he just,
I think eventually, I don't know, but right now they launch you straight up.
yeah.
I got to think that in time, they deal with those scramjets and stuff like that. Maybe I'm sure there's a reason why they do it that way, but I would think that you'd be dealing with less friction. It would take a longer travel, but you'd be dealing with less friction if you went more in a horizontal line. That instead of going punching straight through the atmosphere, we slice through it. So where I'm going through a little bit of it at a time. Now obviously it would be a longer flight to do that, But when I think of like commercial flights, that's more what I think of. It's like, yeah, we kind of start out on regular engines, then they fire off those scramjets or whatever, and that, you know, we would kind of go up at that trajectory. I wouldn't think of mounting in a whatever you call it, the launch pad or whatever, where you're setting
The only way
vertical.
I would do
I
it
don't
is
know.
if you could beam me up.
Yeah, Scotty.
Well, supposedly there's so much space debris floating around the
Yeah.
Earth too that they have to time
It's a
everything
very
shoots
particular
up. Yeah,
window.
they have
Yeah.
to go, okay, this and this, and we can only make it through
Yeah.
at this point because we've not only littered the Earth but littered the space all around us.
Yeah,
The experience sounded cool
aliens'
the way
problem.
he,
I don't
the
care.
way he
I'm all
described
for
it.
shooting junk in
They
space.
can't get out here. Yeah.
You know, if
Where
it
we
wasn't
do
so
my trash?
expensive, like that's what we got to get.
What's that
Need a
dumpster
giant
fee cost?
Space
Yeah.
vacuum cleaner go around and suck all that
Man,
up.
come on.
Like in is it Spaceballs?
I think so.
That it transforms into a vacuum cleaner and sucks them.
I ain't seen that in so long.
I haven't seen that in
been a
forever.
while.
The Schwartz.
Yeah. I like Mel Brooks.
Howard
Like
the
I
Schwartz.
hadn't seen that in a long time. I was watching.
I'm pretty sure it transforms to a vacuum cleaner and it
I
sucks them
think
up.
something in there.
Oh no,
does.
they're sucking the air up on the planets because they got to bottle the air. They're running out of air. Remember, he's got the canned air that he pops open and sniffs. So when they get there, it transforms to a vacuum cleaner and it sucks all the air off the
he had some
planets.
good movies.
I can't believe George Lucas let him do that.
I don't think he
Why
had any
not?
say in it. I don't think there was nothing licensed. He didn't copy anything.
Huh.
He can't stop him from doing it.
I bet he hated it then.
He hated it, I'm sure. Well,
would've
I say
loved it.
that.
I'd be like,
I
"It's
think he,
freaking
yeah,
hilarious."
I think he probably liked
I
the
don't know.
acknowledgement.
He don't look like he has a very good sense
No,
of
he
humor.
No, he
doesn't.
don't really.
And he doesn't look like he takes
but
things very well.
but he is.
He looks
I,
like
he
he'd
comes
be a
off arrogant
pedo.
and vain enough to where it's like he would see the value that somebody valued his stuff enough to spoof it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, he probably would never acknowledge it, but secretly he's like yeah.
They had that
Must have
It's like
Aliens.
how much money they had to spend on that movie too.
Oh yeah.
Aliens was on that in the movies that made us, and they kind of made James Cameron out like he's a bit of a prick too.
I think he might be kind of
Yeah, they made it out like he was kind of difficult at
Yeah.
times to work with.
I think anybody that has got that much, even actors and stuff, when you reach past a certain point or whatever, you start putting so much value in yourself, and that's why it's rare when you hear about people like Keanu Reeves and stuff.
Who seem
People
like
that
cool
seem like they
dudes.
still have their feet on the ground
Yeah.
and still treat people like people,
Yeah.
and you know,
And
like
date normal people.
yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like it's just rare to hear that. Anytime you get into like really artistic people, and I think that's one of the problems with modern day comic books and stuff. When you get into that group of people, there are some out there ideas for one thing, and then when they have been heralded with accolades for so long, they start drinking the Kool-Aid. You know, they start
Think
believing
there's
their own
something
hype.
special.
Absolutely, I
Wasn't
think so. And, you know,
When
some
they
people do.
bleed.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it Keanu that took a pay cut so that they could get some other actor in a movie with him, like a higher paid, like a Danny DeVito or a?
I don't know that story.
I've heard of that from actors. That's like, you know, that to like the only way we're going to be able to put together this cast is if I take a hit.
Well, I know
Yeah.
that
I've
on
heard
like
that
I
kind of
think
stuff.
one of
Ocean's
those-
11, I think, was
Movies
one
that
of
they've
those to
been
where
in
they
together,
decided, like,
though.
look, we can't all get paid these giants to have that many big names
There's like
in
14 of
it.
us.
Right.
I think one of the Mission Impossible movies was like that with Tom
Tom
Cruise. I don't
Cruise.
think he took any money for it.
Yeah. It's crazy. I saw you know, you think about like say Britney Spears, as big a career as she's had or whatever, you think like, golly, she's loaded. I think they say she's worth about $60 million.
That's
Tom-
because conservatorship.
Yeah, I know, but
she's
I
not doing. She's retiring too. So
yeah, I
she
saw
gets out
that.
of
But I mean, that's her total assets.
Mhm.
You know, as of right now, Tom Cruise for like what is considered the worst mission. Like they say, Mission Impossible 2 is the worst one. I didn't hate it. I mean, I liked it all right. I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen a lot of the newer ones, but I didn't hate
I don't
it.
remember much.
2 was the one that John Woo directed, and so it was like more kung fu and kind of like artsy kind of fight, like they were fighting on motorcycles and stuff like that. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is, Tom Cruise made $75 million for that one movie.
He got paid $75 million.
$75 million.
That's crazy.
Britney Spears has been singing since she was 16. She's fixing to turn 40 years old, and she's got $60 million to show for it.
That's because the
And
music
the- and-
industry's
Right.
They don't make.
No, they don't. But think about how much more work she had to put in than what Tom Cruise did
A
for that
lot
one.
more.
That's what I'm saying.
What's Tom Cruise's net worth?
Oh man, if he made $75 million from Mission Impossible 2 20 years ago,
Yeah,
what
but
do you think
the
he's
government
making
took
now?
20% of that.
Yeah, but at some point it don't matter. I mean, it does matter on paper, but at some point, if I'm making $75 million
You looking up his net
for
worth?
one movie, I
wonder-
mean, it's got to be
That's,
crazy.
I can't even imagine. Like, that's a lot to pay one dude to do. He's
Now,
not
and-
even
and
that
so-
good of an actor.
He's pretty good, but the reason it is like
The
he
devil's advocate.
in his contracts and stuff, like he gets so much percentage of the gross. Like whatever the film makes, So that
Oh,
was
we
that
know
wasn't
that-
what that wasn't his contract. Wasn't for $75 million. He got paid something,
That
and then
was
he
the
gets
ticket sales.
Yes, he gets he's a big enough star. He can say, if I'm going to be in this, I'm going to get a percentage of the.
Well,
gross.
that's why Scarlett Johansson sued Disney.
Yeah, right. It's yeah, right. But like Tom Cruise is producing all these Mission Impossible movies,
Which they settled.
Yeah, right.
They didn't disclose anything, and I don't know if it means that she's going to be.
I don't
He's
think
worth
they
$600 million.
see that. It seems to me like that's low compared to what he's made over the. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's no
crap
money.
ton of money.
Yeah, it is.
I wonder what The Rock's worth. It has to be more.
I
than
bet
that.
you it ain't. I bet you ain't. No, I don't know, man. I'm more than that because he ain't been doing it like Tom Cruise been doing it.
Drinks,
400 million.
He's got his tequila. He's
Yeah.
got his workout clothing.
Look up
line.
Shaq's worth. Like that Joker has made some business decisions.
He's
Shaq's got
actually
the general.
seems like a good business-minded guy.
He is. Well, but he will tell you. I think he'll tell you that he's not. But he listened to people that were. Like he overheard
He's
stuff.
worth $400 million.
That surprised me. I'm pretty sure he owns the rights to like Elvis Presley. Like he owns the rights to 2 or 3.
He does. Forever 21, Elvis Presley.
Yep,
That
yep.
just popped up. It's like one of the first names that popped up.
Yeah. He owns the rights to like 2 or 3. Like, I think Marilyn Monroe maybe.
I'm about to find out. I'm clicking on
He
the
owns their
article.
rights. Yeah, to like their likenesses and stuff.
crazy.
Ain't that crazy? Because these families, like, if I'm Marilyn Monroe's descendants or whatever, and I'm not an actor or
Yeah,
nothing
I
or
ain't
whatever,
gonna do nothing. Yeah,
why
give
would I
him
not
money.
just cash out on this?
Yeah.
I can't do nothing with
No,
it, so.
unless you look just like her, unless somebody in
Yeah.
your family looks
Or
just
you are
like
a
her.
business person that knows how to market a dead celebrity's likeness or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah, he I can't remember. It was Elvis. I want to say Marilyn Monroe, and there was a third one that was surprising to me. but I
Elvis
can't
Presley, Marilyn Monroe, J.C.'s Penney's, and Forever 21 all have in common. Shaq owns it.
yeah, he's made some.
He owns
made some-
Forever 20.
He got in on. I'm pretty sure he got in on Google pretty early too. I think he owns a decent portion of early Google.
He owns 50 brands.
Yeah, he's
50.
Yeah, he's out. He is.
That's a
Good
smart.
job, Shaq.
Absolutely.
Yeah, heck
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
rock on to Shaq.
Yeah,
I didn't
was.
know that.
Yeah.
I know that he wouldn't. I don't remember what.
He didn't cash. Well, he was the one that he's never cashed, or wasn't he the guy that they said never cashed any of his NBA checks? That while he was playing, the only money he used was his endorsements. That he had
Smart
never
man
paid
there,
it.
too.
He'd
Checks
never,
only good for 9 days.
That's right. Yeah, Shaq, you better get to the bank.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm sure he put them in the bank. He
Well,
probably
yes,
just-
that's. But I just mean he was not touching
Yeah.
that money.
Every one of these current professional athletes need to take lessons from Shaq.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is how
Instead of
you-
going,
Oh my God.
I buy a $5 million house.
Well, now he did tell us.
you know.
He did tell a story about when he got his first paycheck or whatever. He went to the dealership or whatever. And I can't remember. I think he bought his. I want to say he bought his dad a brand new Mercedes Benz that he wanted or whatever, and brought it home. And he said, well, as soon as we got home, my mom was like, where's mine? He's like, we went right back to the dealership. I think he ended up buying 4 Mercedes Benz out of like his first paycheck. Like it spent most all of it. And like about going and buying stupid cars or whatever. But then
Yeah.
he was still telling that story. And he's like, he overheard some money guys talking about, I think it was Google, if I'm not wrong. And he was just like, oh, I need to get in on that. And he did, apparently.
He's one of those people, like, he's kind of like a Keanu Reeves. He seems like he would be, he seems super down to earth.
I've never heard anybody say he's a jerk, for sure. You
And,
know, he seems like he would be.
Yeah.
I know that, I think he had,
I mean, no, I'm not saying he seems like he would be a jerk. He seems like he'd be a nice guy.
he had a
Everything
big
here.
deal
Especially
with,
in
like,
the
Reebok to do
grown-ups,
shoes.
too.
Yeah.
And some mother or something told him, well, my son won't be able to afford your shoes or
Yeah.
something. And he backed out of the Reebok deal so that he could get a sneaker that was under like 20 or 30 bucks or something like
Yeah.
that. And he went that route instead of taking like a huge deal from Reebok.
I don't care anything about basketball. Never have.
Me neither.
But is it TNT that he's on as one of the commentators or whatever?
He's on, I don't
Whatever
know,
it is,
he's on
the-
some channel.
The show that he does with those 3 other guys, Charles Barkley, and then there's Kenny the Jet Smith, I think, and then there's a white dude that's just like a
He's just
analyst
Filler.
or whatever. Yeah, but
we
he,
needed one.
But those, I mean, he knows basketball.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was a player. Is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But those 4 guys, it's some of the funniest videos you can watch on YouTube. Is just those guys riffing off each other.
I've seen the video where
his
they had
feuds
him
with
and
Shaq and Charles Barkley back
they
and
did
forth.
a bench press
Yes,
contest.
and he did fake weights. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was hilarious. Like Charles Barkley's, he's putting
and
everything
they
he's
threw
got.
the 45 plate to
Yeah.
Shaq, and you could tell as soon as he grabs it, he's like,
It's like foam.
yeah.
That's funny.
But
It's
Shaq
pretty
was
good.
bench press a pretty good bit.
Well, look at that dude. He's a giant. He's one of those people. If he had never done anything in sports, he's big enough. He would have been naturally pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't carry that much.
I
load.
worked with a guy
No.
to look at. He was a big guy. He never worked out or anything, but he would sit down and throw up 400 pounds on a bench press like it wasn't nothing.
Jeez.
And
Well-
he didn't work out. He was just that strong.
When I
Yeah.
was in high school, I worked at a Christmas tree farm, and the guy who owned the Christmas tree farm's son-in-law was a giant.
Yeah.
He played basketball at Alabama. He was like 7'2" or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was like that. He was just so freakishly strong, like a Christmas tree that took, like 2 guys
Yeah.
to tote that was heavy.
Yeah.
He could just grab that Christmas tree by himself and just throw it up on. And he wasn't like
He didn't have to throw it on the car. He just sit on the car.
he wasn't like
He leaned down and
Yeah, he
laid it
did.
on and set it on the
Yeah.
car.
he was a tall
Have some
dude,
scratches on your roof.
Yeah.
but he wasn't like a big dude.
Right.
He was tall and kind of
Well, if you
slenderly
play
built.
basketball, it can't be big if you're tall.
There's some people,
But
you
he
know,
was
they always call it
crazy.
country strong or whatever. There's some people that you can't tell, but man, yeah.
That's how that dude was.
Remember that
He
guy that was rolling up the skillet? We've seen that show. I know you've seen the
Yeah.
same show.
Oh,
right? He
yeah.
wasn't big. He
No,
wasn't
he wasn't
big. He was
big at
rolling
all.
that skillet up.
Yeah, and holding those 2
Yep.
motorcycles from taking off. He
Yeah.
probably weighs 190.
Yeah. That was that show that Stan Lee did where
Yeah,
he was going around
Superhuman.
Yeah,
superhuman.
Superhuman.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
was.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool idea.
Pretty
for a
good
show.
idea, yeah.
It was.
But yeah,
Oh, Stanley.
that dude was crazy strong.
So I've been watching Westworld.
Mhm.
So I seen that Halloween Kills, but and I don't remember. I think it was. I was listening to a video on YouTube, which is the only thing I do in life, and it was the guy was talking about that old Westworld movie, and I remembered that there was a new show.
It's been out for a while.
It's been out
It
forever.
never got picked up for a second season, did
No,
it?
I think it's got like 3 seasons and more coming.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought it got canceled.
No, I think season 4 or something's on its way.
No,
I'm
I think
pretty
that's
sure.
one of the reasons we never watched it, because I think thought it got canceled.
No, we started watching it, and you didn't like it.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty neat. It's
'Cause
like
is there a little boy?
later on into the season, for a pretty good while in.
I didn't make it no little boy. I remember watching.
Yeah, I'm on like episode
1.
7,
I don't know.
and they had a pilot. So, anyways, the premise
Wait,
is like
what's the one where it's like 2 different time periods?
no, it's not this one.
What show is that?
This one's like they're
This
in
one is like it's a theme
Total
park.
Recall
It
kind of.
it's like it's a theme park. It's like the Wild West,
Uh-huh.
and they have it's robots basically.
Yeah.
They call them hosts.
Okay, and people take like a vacation.
Yeah,
from
you
there.
go there,
Okay,
you
yeah,
do
yeah,
whatever
that's
you
what-
want. Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't get killed, but you can kill. You
Yeah.
can do whatever you want to in this
Yep.
from any vice you have.
Yeah.
If you want to be the sheriff, you can. If you want to kill the sheriff, you can. That's kind of the way it is, and it's progressing further. Like there's some stuff going on here. Some like these hosts are not supposed to be like some of them are starting to have independent thinking, and they're alluding that something's going on behind the scenes. I don't like I said, I'm only like 7 episodes into the first season.
So, but like if I take a vacation there.
Mhm.
And like we take a vacation together, are we the only 3 real people there? And everything?
No,
No,
there's
there's
other people there.
But I can't kill those people.
As far as I know,
It's like you go on
they
vacation to a resort, but all the people that run the resort are not real people.
What you're saying there is kind of a situation that they don't ever really illustrate in the show, like an interaction with another human, other than people that you're friends with that you went in there with. I haven't seen anybody that are 2 guests in the park interacting with
2
each
single
other.
people meeting up and
Yeah, it's
meeting each other, falling in love.
well. So most of the time, it's like they have narratives.
murder this one.
Like one of the main characters' name is Dolores or whatever, and she has basically a loop. Like every day, she relives the same thing. Now, different things can happen to her along the course of that day that completely changes her narrative. But like if nobody interferes with her, like she'll even have interactions with other hosts in the park, other robots in the park, and it's scripted that way. That like, look, if nobody's messing with them. This chick will be here at this time of the day, and this guy will see her. He comes out of the bar, and they may spend the rest of the day together. And if nobody ever interferes with them, it'll always be that way. But if somebody else sees her before he does, then she may go off with him for the rest of the day. And there are written stories that they may act out, or if something else happens or whatever, they can improvise to a certain point to where like whatever happens. And they say like you start out in the center of the park, and that's all pretty safe. But the further you go out, the danger increases. And it seems like the further that you go out, the more you can be hurt. Because I've seen people get shot, and it actually like knock them down or whatever pretty bad. Or like they would get punched or like arrested and that kind of stuff. And it seems like, okay, they're far enough out in the park that they don't really have any say in this. Like
how are they not? What keeps them safe in the inner center of the park?
They're not as aggressive. Like
say somebody shot me in the center of the park.
Somebody? What do you mean? Like a host or another person?
Like a robot?
No, they're programmed different.
They do.
Programmed
It
in,
just doesn't
programmed
hurt. Like you see.
But how does it not hurt? Are they fake bullets?
You do. It's like something. It does sting, but you don't get
Am
hurt.
I in like a thing? I'm not actually.
No, you're really there. This is you.
You're not Matrix.
You show up on a train, right? It's not Matrix. You show up on a train, and somebody gets you off the train basically, and like, come with me, and they imply that person is actually a host also because she makes a pretty good offer there. This guy, there's one of the guys that you're following through the park or whatever. She takes you into this real sterile room, and it's like all it is like there are cases of clothes and stuff. Like you pick whatever you want to wear, like down to the everything. You pick out your weapons. You want a knife, a pistol, a rifle, all that stuff. Like, you completely pick everything you want, and then he opens this door, and when you open the door, you're on a train basically, and the train is going into the park, and so I guess the train takes you to the middle of the park. Well, there's stuff that happens in the middle of the park, like there's shootouts and all kind of stuff. Like, but if one of the hosts shoots you, it's basically like you might get a bruise or something, but it ain't killing you.
Well, they just got fake bullets.
I think that it can't be fake because you're getting some kind of a bruise. It's shooting some kind of a wadding or
Are
something
you
on you.
in
Paintballs,
some kind
something
of
like
like
that.
bubble
Yeah.
thing?
No, it
Like, how are
doesn't
they
seem like
So it's
controlling
kind of
all
like a
this?
Wild West
They're
Disney World with the
kind of.
animatronics.
They're
or-
programmed. I mean, what do you mean? How are they controlling
I
it?
mean,
just like
like, how
robots.
can I not be hurt, but then the farther out from the center, I can actually be hurt?
So maybe the
That-
guns have a more powerful load the further you go out into the park.
Maybe there's
don't know, it just don't
dampeners
make
on
no
the inside.
sense.
We'll just watch it.
I'm guessing.
It has been fairly interesting,
Yeah.
but then it's not just the stuff that happens in the park. Like, you're also seeing the inner workings of the company that's controlling it, and it is completely controlled. Like, because there's people that come show up at this park, like guests and stuff. They're like obviously sociopaths or whatever. Like, they're going through just like I
to
comes in
murder
the
people.
saloon, I mean, and just shooting everybody in there. Well, then at the end of the day, the people that work for that company go in there and round up all these bodies and take them back and have to fix all the wounds and stuff. Like,
Are they real life robots, kind of like?
yeah,
where
they say
like,
basic.
bleed?
Yeah,
AIs.
absolutely. Yeah, they say basically. Well, they started out the original robots were robots. It's gotten to the point now to where it's like they're basically indistinguishable from humans, except they respond to controls and to commands and stuff like that. And but so yeah, that's kind of the part of it. Like, you'll see the main character. They'll be interviewing them and stuff. Like, and it's kind of like they have to ask them questions like, "Do you ever question your reality?" Like, they're checking to make sure that there ain't no cracks forming.
Yeah.
Or nothing,
Like that little thing they do. What is that? Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. It's exactly like that. They run them kind of through these questions or whatever because there are some anomalies showing up, and that's what I haven't gotten into figuring out what that is or whatever. But there's some stuff happening, and some people are questioning. And there's one chick in it. It's that. Matter of fact, she was in Tandy Newton, the chick that was in Mission Impossible 2 that we were talking about a minute ago. She's in it. She plays like a prostitute. She plays like like the madam of the prostitutes at the saloon or whatever. And for some reason, she has started when they get her out after she gets killed, which she gets killed a bunch apparently.
Yeah.
When they're on the table working on her, she's for some reason starts getting the ability that she can wake herself up, and so she's waking up and has figured out how to manipulate these people that are actually that are humans that are working on them. Like the last episode I saw, she had blackmailed them, and basically like there's some shady stuff that goes on because I mean these people are indiscernible from humans. And so you got a bunch of perverts working down there in the labs, and they're always naked. Like when they get them in here to do the work on them, they're
Yeah.
always naked. Like everybody's naked in the basement where they're working on them. And so there's records of what people have been doing with that kind of stuff. So she blackmails these guys into increasing her intelligence. So now she's a robot. She knows she's a robot, and instead of her mind being reset every day, she's remembering stuff, and she's starting to have memories of like. When she was created, she wasn't a prostitute in a saloon. Like, she had a little girl, and her storyline was like she was like a homestead wife or something like that. And she keeps getting flashes of this, and it like at some point they were like savage Indians, not savage natives or whatever, had killed her family basically, and she's starting to get flashes of that, and it's starting to be like, okay, we're becoming sentient, and we're questioning why we're being slaves to these people, that just come in here and just cut our throat just to see what happens, that kind of stuff.
So I assume that eventually there'll be
There's
an
gonna be
uprising.
uprising.
Of the robots.
Eventually, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure eventually something's going to happen. But there's like
Do
3
they
or
fix
4.
them? So I mean, if I go into the park and we kill this chick,
Mhm.
and then the next day you're coming into the park, do they get her fixed so fast that she's in the park by the next day,
Yeah, it seems that way.
or do they
yeah.
have multiple copies of them?
No, it seems like it's the same one because that's one of the things. The some of the people are the hosts that are in there, like that chick. She remembers. She's had so many different storylines, and it was that same exact robot. That's why she's got fragments of the memories
Is
in
she
her.
the only one that's? I guess she's
No,
the
there's
first
a
one like that.
There's a bunch of them. Like the main woman her name's Dolores. I guess you say her. It seems like it's kind of like HBO does shows that way, to where like there are 3 or 4 main storylines. Like everybody's just as important as everybody else.
Yeah.
But the one you start out noticing more about, her name's Dolores, and I think she's like one. She's been there. I'm guessing. She couldn't have been there from like day one because the day one ones are actual robots. But she's one of the oldest hosts in the park that's still active, and that's kind of the thing about it too. The ones that they retire,
Deactivate.
they don't destroy them. They put them in like
Turn 'em into something
no,
else.
they just put them like in storage. Like they'll go down in this basement, like 80 levels below the ground or whatever, and they'll open the door, or whatever, and it's just a bunch of these naked hosts just standing in a dark room or whatever. They just put them down there. and they still function and everything. It's just like they don't do anything. They just stand there. But like the guy that started the park, like they went down there, they was like, hey, one of the hosts in storage is activated. Like you need to go down there and check it out. And they go down. Anthony Hopkins is one of the guys that started the park, or he's one of the original 2 guys. And he goes down there and he's just sitting. He's activated this old guy that's like this real scraggly looking cowboy or whatever. And they're just talking like he's drinking and he knows what that guy's gonna say because he created him and everything. But sometimes he goes down there and just activates it to just have a talk with this guy. And it's weird. There's a lot of weird. It's interesting, I guess, what it is. I don't know where it's going to go or whatever. And it's an old show. People know how it turns out, and if it starts to get terrible or whatever, I don't know.
Are they following the same premise as the old show?
From what I understand, the old show is pretty bad. But I mean, similar themes, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is going to be way more complex. And
it sounds interesting.
it is pretty interesting.
Do they just like own a patch of land out in the desert or something?
A giant park or whatever.
How do they keep these things from going out of the boundary?
They're programmed. Like there's something like they can't like there's things that they just can't do. Like Dolores, the chick or whatever, like she just now broke free to where she could even fire a gun. Like this guy was trying to teach her and she's like, I can't. She couldn't even pull the trigger. Like there's blocks in their program.
They're on a loop.
But yeah,
I mean I got that.
I mean that's
all. That's what they do. They walk from point A to point B to C to D.
Right.
Day ends.
And if there was, they probably have like, hey, once they pass this perimeter, they deactivate. Even though they would never do it because they're programmed to not. Like they always talk about. That's one of the things. Like that Dolores chick realized the guy that played Cyclops in the original X-Men movies, that James Marsden.
Yeah.
He's one of the hosts in there, and him and Dolores have a loop that if nobody messes with them, they get together every day basically, and they go off and spend the rest of the day together, and that's one of the things. Like she's starting to question if there's something beyond what we're doing. Like she's starting to become sentient kind of, and she's like, I want you to take me away somewhere or whatever. He's like, I got a lot of stuff I got to make up for. He's like, we'll go someday. And she's like, someday's the word that you say when you actually mean never. Like, and you'll pick up on the conversation these people are talking about. Like, one of the prostitutes, she's like, I don't plan on doing this forever. She's like, my family don't know that this is what I do. She's like, I've just got to make enough money that we can move away someday. Like they always talking about something that they're planning in the future, even though they never progress more than 24 hours towards that, you know? And it's like the ones that are starting to become aware of that, that's like, well, why can I not go do anything now? Why is it always got to be something that someday? Because
in the near future.
Right, because you know can do it.
Yeah.
That and some people are becoming aware of that. It's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like
HBO does some pretty good shows. I mean, if you give them the time to get into it or whatever. But
And we've got HBO Max.
yeah, it's pretty good.
So we watched the new season of Doom Patrol.
And I saw. Did you see they got picked up for a fourth season? And Titans too. Both of them got picked up.
Too. We
Yeah.
probably got a episode.
I did. So
episodes.
I started watching Doom Patrol. I've seen a bunch of it.
you like it?
Yeah. So where am I at? The last episode I saw was maybe the one where they go into that. Was it a goat or a donkey?
Oh yeah.
The goat. They went to the goat's mouth.
Yeah. So they came out. I think I'm right when they come out of the goat.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Such a
And
weird
doesn't
show.
it blow up? Don't the goat blow up?
I think
They get guts. It had to because they
it
get
does,
guts.
yeah.
I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
it's a strange little show.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
like it.
It's weird. Yeah.
It's definitely weird.
Yeah. I don't particularly like the guy playing Cyborg, but I mean he's all right.
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon Fraser.
No, Cyborg.
Oh, Cyborg.
Yeah.
No, I like Brendan Fraser's pretty good on it.
Yeah,
Brendan
I don't
Fraser's
really.
hilarious.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
he just wouldn't cuss so much.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
I think they could have
I know it don't bother you.
put a different character in other than Cyborg. I don't know who.
Yeah, I
all
don't think
was Team
he
Doom
doesn't
Patrol.
really. It doesn't really make sense that he's even there.
He's just like randomly.
No.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And maybe they could have done without him. I mean, I guess they wanted somebody that was actually, a stereotypical superhero, or at least trying to be a stereotypical superhero, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know who all were Doom Patrol members, but
I don't know.
They should have
surely-
left Beast Boy.
they he's a center point in Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Well, so is Cyborg.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they're both
Yeah.
huge. I mean, like anchors of the Teen Titans.
Yeah, if you're going to associate him with anything, it's Teen Titans.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I associate Cyborg
Me
with.
too.
Not
I mean,
Doom
Justice
Patrol.
League now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's
because
kinda
he's
grown
grown
up
up
now.
now. Yeah, and
Well, I
he's
didn't know what Doom
future
Patrol was
leader of-
before
Me
Doom
neither.
Patrol came
Yeah.
out. So
I mean, I think I had heard of it, but I had no
Yeah.
idea what. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
The chick what's her name? That's got the 64 personalities. or whatever?
Jane?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's pretty cool. That's pretty. I mean, they've done some neat stuff with her. Yeah, I like the show. All right, it's pretty. And Alan, is it Alan Tudyk?
technically it's Kate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
She's
I'm
sweet,
I'm
sweet baby Kate.
yeah, I'm to the point to where they're alluding. It's like Jane's not the original
No.
consciousness or whatever. Yeah, yeah. They have been alluding
Her
to
name's
that.
Kate.
Yeah. Wasn't that the scared little girl or whatever? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So.
Yeah.
They should have put Ambush Bug in there.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was a part of Doom Patrol.
Yeah. Don't the cocaine guy eventually show up? I was thinking that
Cocaine guy.
Guess who we
wasn't there a
got?
bad guy? The bad guy that's what was his name? Snowstorm or something
Oh,
like that.
okay, yeah.
Ain't he eventually in the show? I thought he was.
I don't
I
remember.
haven't seen him so
Well,
far.
maybe not.
Guess what's in the next season though?
Oh my god.
Who makes what makes an appearance?
Oh my gosh, not the humping ghost.
They really don't
Just
have
randomly,
any,
just everybody's like,
I don't remember what episode number that is that I'm on, but I'm a pretty good ways through it.
yeah. Did you get to that episode?
No, I
Do you
haven't seen that
remember?
episode yet. No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, they make an appearance just randomly. Because you get what's the Dead Brothers?
Oh,
that they're
the
doing the spin-off
Detective
with.
Boys. Or the Dead Boy Detectives?
Yeah, the Dead Boy Detectives.
I
You'll
I think
get
that
them.
they,
No,
A spin-off of them.
No, I'm wrong. So I have went further than that, I guess. The kid that's the book. He's got the book written on him or whatever.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
protect him.
That's like
yeah.
near the end of
Okay, so
season
I've seen- yeah.
I've seen that. So I've seen where they
When the
created
skies
they
doing
created
all
their fake religion.
the eyes.
What is it what was the name of the one that destroyed everything? It wasn't the Destroyer. It was something like
It
the
was the eyes in the sky.
yeah. And then they created
can't
their own
remember.
that fought it or
Yeah.
whatever because it was like if there's enough faith, anything's
Yeah.
So that was the last episode I saw. So that may have been the end of the first season.
Yeah.
I think that
I think it is.
Okay.
Them dealing with those people, I think, is the end of the first
That,
season.
that's as far as I've been.
Because
then.
the second season deals primarily with that Dorothy, the chief's daughter,
Okay, yeah. I haven't
and
seen all
her.
that.
She's kind of like Jane. She has like personalities. that-
So do they is the is the Nobody, is that his name? Nobody, Mr. Nobody?
yeah.
Is he does that wrap up in the first season or does that continue on?
Now that wrapped up in the first season.
It does. So see, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen how that wraps up yet then.
Yeah, because
Because he works with them to beat the eyeball in the
he
sky.
might be a
Yeah.
little
So
bit in
weird.
the second
Yeah.
season, but he fizzles out at some point in time. And,
I
Yeah,
like
and
him.
it
He's
just
pretty. I mean, Alan Tudyk does good
and
stuff.
then the main villain is one of Dorothy's
Candlemaker.
imaginary character friends, or whatever, because that's kind of like her power.
Candlemaker.
Yeah, the candle maker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that'll
Pretty good,
happen
though.
at the end of season 2.
Yeah, it ends up wraps that up, and it picks up right where this third season's picked up right where that
Yeah, like literally right where
right where
season
that
2 ends.
right where that ended.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
There's some good stuff out there.
Which I hadn't. I'm kind of just waiting for those to finish, and then we'll go back.
Binge 'em.
Yeah.
binge 'em.
Yeah, I hate watching because I'm like, what was happening?
I
in
just
that
like
last
binging
one?
stuff.
Yeah, I
Well, it makes
usually
it easier 'cause I
don't.
forget stuff.
Yeah,
And they'll show something, and I'm like, I know that ties in with something, but I don't remember what.
yeah.
You know, we just did that with Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We binged it till we watched every one of them. We're doing it with Seinfeld right now.
Yeah.
We're-
Well, there's another show on HBO Max. It's called Wellington Paranormal. Have you seen that? Anything to do with that?
No.
Have you ever? I think we talked about it, but there's a movie called What We Do in the Shadows. You ever seen that?
Oh,
You
isn't
talked
there a
about it.
show?
That's the
There is
Taco
a show
Bell.
Yeah,
about
that
it.
show
Yeah.
looks hilarious because
Okay,
we always see the
so all-
commercials for it.
Okay, so all that started from the movie.
Uh-huh.
And Taika Waititi's in the movie.
Yeah.
He's one of the vampires in the movie. Well, there's two cops that show up. Maybe we talked. Seems like we might have talked.
we
about
did talk
this.
about it because they got their own spinoff.
They did. Okay,
Yeah.
so we did talk. So I finished all that. It's pretty funny. That's something if you
He's the
you should
main-
watch
I
that
want
movie
to go
to
back
begin
and
with.
definitely see
though.
the What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, you
it
should
looks
see the
hilarious.
movie. It's funny.
He's the main bad guy and that free guy, Taika Waititi.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that
Free
yet.
Guy's
It looks
good. Free Guy's
interesting.
pretty
Yeah,
funny.
it looked pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a lot better than what I thought it was going to be.
I picked it up at Walmart the other day, and I didn't get it, but it looked interesting.
It was definitely. I didn't go into it thinking it was going to be that good because Ryan Reynolds is pretty, and it is still basically a Ryan
He's still
Reynolds.
Deadpool.
Yeah,
You know, he's a cookie cutter.
yeah, he does.
He's got
the
one
same.
role.
Yeah.
He does.
And
sadly.
he really
but
can't-
It's a good role though.
Yeah.
He can't branch out past it.
I think he could, but I think people write it for him. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
we want that.
They're like,
you
we
know?
want him,
Yeah,
and then
I think so.
they
He's
write
just
that role.
every
Yeah.
movie he's ever done, he's been
the
that.
same.
Yeah, he is.
He's
like
got
that
same
one.
character in
Yeah.
every single movie.
The
Yeah.
Free Guy's really good.
But yeah,
As
Free
long
Guy-
as the movie matches
Especially when
it,
they're
I'm-
fighting at the end, and you get like Captain America and stuff.
Am I the only
It's hilarious.
person that could not? I mean, I love superhero movies. I love comic movies or whatever. Do you give a crap about?
Eternals.
Well, that's one. That's one. It's the
No,
same
do
exact
not.
question. But Black Adam. Like I
I
like
care about
the
Black
I
Adam.
like the
I just wanna see it
idea that
'cause The Rock.
That's me.
Yeah.
But
I
the
got a Rock
character.
shirt
Yeah.
on right
But the
now.
character.
Yeah.
Would you much rather not him? Like he's making out like Black Adam is going to change the power structure. The only reason it will is because The Rock is a bankable star. Like Black Adam has been whipped and defeated numerous times. Like he's not the end all be all.
No, he's a
The
powerful
fact that
character, though.
but there is no way if it
I'd
wasn't
never really heard of him until The Rock.
that's
was
what
gonna
I'm
play
saying.
him.
There's no way that the name
It's
of
like
a
Doom Patrol.
movie would be Black Adam unless it's The Rock playing it. He
Yeah.
would have
Well,
never
Shazam
gotten
in
played.
general isn't
Shazam's so good though.
I'm just saying, like in the comic book world, he's a big character, but he's not a super well. Like most people.
No, not really. Can you imagine? Okay, did you watch that
But,
4-minute clip
Shazam-
that the Rock posted of
No,
Black
I
Adam?
haven't seen it.
Okay, so it looks as super serious as any movie can look. Can you imagine taking Shazam and putting it in that?
No, Shazam's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. It
Loved
just does not make
'Cause
sense
he's a
at
kid,
all.
too, so-
Yeah, it does not make. I mean, if those two are going to come together in that
Yeah.
movie, I cannot imagine how it's going to
And
It'll
work.
be
they'll have to
daylight
come
and
together.
They'll
dark,
have to.
literally.
It is.
Well,
yeah.
it might play well like that.
Maybe.
do.
I don't know. I don't
Or
know.
one joke, someone's like,
But in the comics, Shazam's always on equal par with Superman.
Yeah, but he's not
Like, in terms of,
right.
like,
He's
power.
right because his power's magic and,
then
Superman's
Shazam
weakness
has
is magic.
the exact same power. So
Yeah.
in theory,
It's really he's almost more powerful because not only is he as strong as Superman, his strength is magic, and Superman is weak against magic. So it's kind of like if his punches might hurt Superman worse than somebody that's just
Yeah.
strong because it's kind of a double effect.
the only thing like
can
they're
remember, though,
putting
in
Hawkman in
Shazam.
it.
Hawkman's in
cares
it.
about
Dr.
Hawkman.
Pierce Brosnan's playing Dr.
Now,
Fate.
Dr.
That's pretty
Fate,
neat.
I'm pretty interested to see how awesome that's going to be because
Yeah.
I think Dr. Fate's a cool character.
And there was a fourth one, and I don't
didn't
remember who
Shazam
it was.
though? Is it his opponents can say Shazam and he'll go back to being the little kids, or is it they beat the crap out of him and they went back to being kids? Because at one time he was getting beat up.
I think they
And
have
I
to
can't
get
remember
him
if he
to say it.
said,
They usually.
I remember they was
yeah.
like whooping up on him, and all of a sudden he's like
But
Shazam. and
that
then
being
little
said,
kids
in this
everywhere.
clip, it shows these explorers or whatever, and they get into this like temple or something, and there's this hieroglyphic kind of thing on the ground or whatever, and she's reading it or whatever, and she says Shazam, and then lightning bolt strikes that thing, and when the smoke clears, there's a guy that's like kneeling down in a cloak or whatever.
And it's Black Adam.
Yeah, of course. And
How does
somebody,
that work, though? They say Black Adam.
well, that's what he says Shazam too. He's
They
got
got their powers
yeah,
from
they,
the same dude. He
yeah,
was
all
the
of them get-
first Shazam, like the first one he gave it, the whatever it is, gave their powers.
So
to.
whatever happens, and I
He's
don't
from
remember
ancient
why
Egypt.
he does, but some
Is
guy
his
runs
name
it.
Adam, I guess.
Yeah, something like
He's
that.
an Egyptian, is all I
It's
know.
like from Kondak or something like that. Ain't that the name of the place he protects now? I think it's
Something
Kondak.
like that.
Well, I
yeah.
guess The Rock did play in The Mummy.
Yeah.
He was a
Is that-
scorpion.
It
king.
is
He's got
Egyptian.
he's got his resume. He was the Scorpion King.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, the Rock's in it. It'll probably be a good movie.
That's fine. I'm just saying, you'd be interested in the Eternals if The Rock was in it.
I probably would.
But that's what I mean. It's like
But
it
it's
would.
got Angelina Jolie,
that's the-
so.
But the Eternals.
But could you care any? Could you care?
I care
less?
about Black Adam. I mean, I'm excited about that movie.
Because of if you took The Rock out of it and
I
it
don't
was
know,
just
probably wouldn't
somebody.
care.
Yeah, that's probably the only reason.
That's
Because
the only
well, let's
reason.
see how The Rock
But
does.
The
in
Rock
this.
has a great
But I don't
track
care about the
record
Eternals. I
of-
thought that who was the one guy that was in the Eternals, and I was like, that's
Oh, you thought it was the guy who plays?
yeah, I thought it was Winter Soldier. Because the guy looked
Sebastian
almost
Stan.
just like
Yeah,
him.
I can't remember what the
Eternals
guy's name
looks
is.
stupid.
It showed him, and I was like,
Nothing
what if
about
that's Winter Soldier?
Eternals. I don't even know why they're doing it.
I can't imagine.
They're
It
supposed to
don't
protect
feel
the
like
realm
it
or
fits
something.
in. I feel like if this whole next phase has any kind of feel of like they're pushing, like this whole Eternals crap, I don't think it's not going to have the same feel as Phase 1 with the Avengers.
I don't think
and
so
stuff
Well,
like
either.
that.
are
It
they
It
trying
feels like
to-
they're going. They might be on that verge of just on a decline.
And
This
that's
could
what I-
be
Are they
the
trying
end
to
of
tie
the
that
superhero
in?
movie thing.
Since they're just supposed to watch and not interfere, but since Loki, Kang the Conqueror, whatever, since that just happened and all the timelines are doing this, maybe they have to step in now because their stuff's going to get destroyed too. and
There's
that
going to be
timeline-
somewhere.
They're
And
going to
it-
tie it in somehow. 'Cause
They
that's
have
what
to.
they
They
do.
have
That's
to.
what they-
That's why they're
and-
always
and
like,
they
well, we
will-
just have to watch. We can't interfere.
And in the long run,
What's the point of having them?
well, I'm just going to say, in the long run, I'm not going to say that it will be a terrible movie. I'm just saying it's a movie about characters that I could not care less about. They will make them important enough with the movie because it ties in that universe that it probably won't be a wash.
This is going to be a filler story to let you know, hey,
Right.
this is what's happening in this
I just-
part of the
I hope-
talking it up.
They
like
are.
it's
Well, I mean,
setting up-
golly, you look at it's got a bigger cast than any Marvel movie's ever.
I know,
As
there's
far
like
as Selma Hayek's
9
in
of
it,
them or
Angelina
something.
Jolie's in it. I mean, there's some big
Yeah,
names
those are
in
like
there.
washed up.
Sebastian Stan
names.
stunt
You
You
double.
take that back about Selma Hayek. I won't hear
I do
that.
like her.
I do too.
We
She's
went-
been in a bunch of movies
Crap.
that I love, but
What was
I
the
mean,
movie
let's be
they
honest.
watched where they adopted?
The Bodyguard's wife.
Yeah. I hadn't seen the second one. I saw the first one.
It's so good.
the-
It's good. It's
yeah.
hilarious.
So, but that's what I hope that Elementals or I keep calling them Elementals, Eternals
Eternals.
doesn't do what you're saying and be the first step to killing us because we've just now got the possibility of X-Men and Fantastic Four.
That's where they should have.
Well, I know that, but they probably have been in development on Eternals long enough. So like,
They
we
have,
can't
and-
scrap this now, you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully it is good enough that it's.
We get those movies.
And I think that given the span that it's been since there was a big tentpole Marvel movie, it's going to succeed regardless.
Yeah.
That movie will make $1 billion just because it's been a drought.
I don't know.
I
if
think it will. I think it
Shang-Chi,
will.
I don't think it's going to make $1 billion.
Yeah, that's a good point that came out before.
Look, the
I don't know.
Eternals. What's going to really? They look stupid. Like
What?
they look.
They're not interesting
They
looking.
look. Their whole armor outfits and all that
they
crap.
look like people going to cosplay.
They
Kinda.
look stupid.
Yeah, I'm
they
not
don't have a
interested
cool
in it.
look.
I'm not
I- I'm
Nothing
s-
about it. Their little abilities look.
They all have
stupid.
the same. Most of them have the same abilities. Most
Yeah.
of them, like we shoot lasers out of
They,
our eyes.
they
and
all
we're
have the
strong.
same
That's-
thing, but each one is
So
like
they're,
better at one
right,
than the other.
Right.
They just look dumb.
I think it's stupid.
I can't stand the outfit. Give me Icarus's outfit or
Oh,
whatever his
that'd
name
be
is.
cool.
From
Yeah,
the comic
his real
books.
outfit looks cool.
Look cool.
Yeah.
They all look much cooler in the comic.
And they've gender changed 3 or 4 of them.
Oh, they changed
like I mean,
a
they
bunch of
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Salma Hayek's a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little kid
little
sprite
kids that-
are supposed to be a boy,
Yeah.
and it's a girl. Which
They're-
some of that I don't care about because I don't care about elementals. Here we go again. The Eternals, but
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like if you
TikTok.
start doing that to X-Men,
They're
you
gonna
know,
do that with
oh
X-Men.
my gosh,
I
man! If
guarantee-
Cyclops is a chick or whatever, like this.
They
is
may
gonna-
not do it with tentpole characters, but I
Yeah.
guarantee you they're
Yeah.
gonna gender bend
Yeah.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Probably.
There's already talks of, well, ain't gender bending, but race swapping, like Fantastic Four again.
Well, Hawkman's
Well,
a
I'm
black
tell you
dude in
this,
that new.
I
in
don't
the
really care
Black
about
Adam.
he's- I don't care nothing about
you know,
watching another Fantastic Four movie.
That works
If
okay
they
with.
make a good one, it'd
I
be
don't
if
know
they
if they
make a
can.
good one.
I don't think
But
they can.
Hawkman, you can make that work because the Hawkman that's in that, he reincarnates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he can
so
be whatever
he
you want.
originates from Egypt.
Yeah.
Well,
And
he ain't gonna be a
Hawkgirl.
white dude. He's gonna be
Well,
he's gonna be an
and
Egyptian.
A good
Yeah.
portion of the time, I don't care that they changed Nick Fury. Like if it's good, that doesn't bother me as much, I guess. But
Yeah.
when you change the sex of a character, I don't know. That's a step too far in a lot of.
I don't like
you know,
that, and I don't like when they change
I don't like
the
it.
race of a character.
I honestly don't like it when it is a dot or tittle different than what the comic was. I want it to be exactly because that's why I like it. I like
Yeah.
it because of what it is, not because of what you change it into.
I'll get slack for saying this, but I don't want to see a lot of females in a superhero movie because they don't get good fight scenes.
if it's not
They
a good
can't
character,
fight.
yeah, if it's
They
not
don't
a-
want a lady getting hit in the face because
Yeah.
you don't want to see a lady getting hit in the face by a dude.
But if they do Rogue
they can't
right,
have
like
them
I want to see
good?
her
I wanna
full
see
on,
Rogue.
you know,
well,
yeah,
I mean,
I'll-
hey, yeah.
yeah.
Jean Grey.
But she's already
Yeah.
there, but I want.
I wanna
I
see
want, don't want to be like, oh yeah, we got
Psylocke.
3 females on this team and 5 males,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. I thought that the fighting in Captain Marvel was good enough.
God, I hate
didn't
Captain
you?
Marvel.
I know
The
you
problem
yeah.
is it's
But-
just Brie
but do you-
Larson's put
That's
such
what I
a
was going
sour
to.
taste.
That's what I was going to. Do you
Yes.
hate Captain Marvel? Or do you hate Brie
Hate
Larson?
Yeah, I
Brie
don't like
Larson.
her.
I don't hate Captain
I'm
Marvel.
excited about the other girl from
Yeah.
WandaVision.
Right. Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know
the
why I can't
Monica
remember her
Rambeau?
name.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited
I
about
like
seeing
that
her.
girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked her. I'm excited
I
about
hope
seeing
she
her.
replaces.
I hope she does too.
Captain Marvel.
I just
Brie
don't like
Larson
Brie
just
Larson.
talked too much crap.
Yeah.
She left a
did.
sour taste. I mean, she
Yeah.
really crapped on the whole.
Yeah, she
comic
wanted more
community.
money. It's like this is your first role. You want more money? No,
Yeah.
who are you?
And she really shot herself
You
doing
are
all that.
not.
Just
no.
freaking
see.
go
Robert Downey
act, play your
Jr.
role.
You didn't get paid as much as Robert Downey Jr. You are not RDJ.
You are
You're
not
not
Robert
Robert
Downey
Downey
Jr.
Jr.
That's
You
for
are not
sure.
Chris Evans. You are not Chris Hemsworth.
And it ain't because they're just dudes. You
No,
know,
it's not.
Okay, you're not
it has
Scarlett
nothing
Johansson.
to do with that. I mean, yeah, but Scarlett Johansson's making
It's the
more
same
than
thing
she
as
was.
the NBA and the WNBA. You are
Oh,
worth what they
gosh.
can make off of you.
Yeah.
And you are going to make more off of Iron Man and Captain America than you are Black Widow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of
Exactly.
it.
Those WNBA girls talking like
That's
they should be
crazy.
making what
It is
they're
nuts.
What the NBA makes, but they
You
don't bring
are
in ticket
stupid.
sales
That's
or
so crazy.
merchandise.
in the world
or
wants to go watch the WNBA. Nobody.
people overseas.
Nobody does.
Yeah. I wouldn't go if you gave me the tickets.
Like, and it's
No.
not a
I
mean,
mean, gift them.
women's
Yeah.
sports in general just aren't as exciting as men's sports,
No.
and it's basic
Well,
physiology.
it is. It
We're
gets
all
to,
built different.
you're
and men
interested
are built
in-
to be.
you're interested in the top tier of things usually.
Yeah.
So it's like if I want to go see basketball, I want to go see NBA. I don't want to
I
go
want to see some dunks.
That's what I mean. I don't want to go see a lesser version of that. Not that you're not. I mean, it's almost like it's a different sport. You're playing by similar rules, but there are things you can't do.
And obviously,
You know what
all
I mean?
those girls
Yeah.
would beat me in basketball.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't be done. Most of them, I'm sure there are exceptions, and they probably do it all the time. But it's like you're not going to be seeing as many monster dunks and stuff as you would at any
Do they
NBA.
dunk on a
I
10-foot
don't
goal?
know. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. Either.
But I know there are some tall girls in that league that can probably dunk.
yeah,
You
No,
know,
I'm sure.
surely.
yeah.
but I don't know. I
But it
just
goes
think
the
they're.
same way too with like, I could watch men's hockey and the men getting into it and fighting and stuff, but I don't want to watch women do,
Do they
that.
have women's hockey?
I don't know if they do
I'm
or
not
not.
pro.
But I'm saying
I mean,
if there
well,
was,
There's
say
not a
that.
market.
if
for
there
it.
was,
There's
I would
barely
want
a
to
market
see
for male hockey.
women
Look,
beating up each other and
this is
slamming each
why-
other to the ice. I'd be like, ooh,
know.
This is
that's
why I don't
brutal.
even like watching the UFC anymore.
Yeah.
They push
Oh, put 'em
women's.
on the top card.
They push that far more now than they, and it's. I don't like Renee said. I don't want to watch two women beat each other up. First
No.
off,
Yeah.
it's
second
not
off,
natural.
they're
That's right.
normally
Women aren't supposed to be the warriors.
they're normally
supposed to be
nowhere
the
near as
caregivers.
good.
Yeah.
You'll have two chicks with like. One of them will have like a 4-5 record, and the other will have like a 3-3.
There ain't no superstars.
And it's like, there's no way if I was a dude and I had a 4 and
tell
5
who's gonna
record,
win
I'm
if
not
it
fighting
wins.
in the UFC
yeah.
No, especially not the
I'm fighting
top
over
card.
here.
Yeah,
and local shows.
Right.
You know, if I'm
Right.
lucky.
Right.
I'm at the ECW.
You know, it's just I don't know. It's nothing
I'm in the
against
China
women.
League.
Women are athletic and they can do. I mean, theoretically they can do anything anybody can do.
Yeah.
But it's like you're saying, when you're gonna watch something, you want to watch the best at something.
Yeah.
And sadly, they just don't have the athletic potential that a man does.
And
If we're all about domestic violence,
And that's
why
just the
would
way it
we
is.
Watch
Well, that's a good
women
point.
beat on women.
But I mean, you want to boil it down to brass tacks. It's money. I
It
mean,
is, it
if
is.
if the WNBA brought in as much money as the NBA, they would be begging them to play, and they would show it with their pocketbooks. Like they would be making that money. It would. Why would I invest an equal amount of money in something that I'm going to get an unequal return? That's stupid.
But that's what'll happen.
It's like that
No,
soccer,
I didn't- as long
that
as I was
soccer
involved, it
lady,
wouldn't.
that blonde-haired, short blonde-haired
Rapinoe or whatever it is. Gosh, I can't stand
The
her.
one that's always running her mouth
Yeah,
about crap.
always,
That thinks she
always.
should make him what Kristen Ronaldo
Yeah,
or whatever his
good
name
luck
is.
with that.
Christian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's another dude who seems like he's probably a pretty cool dude.
Really?
Yeah, from the things you see about him,
Yeah.
he seems like he's pretty cool.
He
Does
seems
a lot
like a
of
good family
stuff.
man. There's been things about him cheating, but
Well,
who knows if that's
obviously,
true or
look
not.
at him.
But he's I know.
He's like Adonis.
I mean,
He's like a great guy.
Yeah,
he
he's,
is.
physically,
I mean,
he's physically
like-
perfect.
physically, he really is. I
Nice
mean,
tan skin.
Yeah.
he's got
That's what
perfect
they
facial
tan.
structure, Greek body. I
Also
mean,
got
And
Wow.
he's a great athlete. I mean, how
and he's
like
a freak athlete.
some people, some people just get lucky.
They do.
whatever.
They get all the stuff. I mean,
Somebody's got to, I guess.
I guarantee you, he cheats. But he
His
seems
wife
like
stays
a cool
for the
dude.
money.
That's right. That's right.
And
I
for
don't
the
know
kids.
what beef he has with Coke, but there was like an interview here a while back where they had said like Coke sponsored this. Boom,
drinking
we're
my
all
drink.
got a Coke right here in front of us. He looked down and saw there
I
was a
saw that.
Coke
yeah.
in front of him.
He moved it.
grabbed that.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
you know.
Well, all right, now hold up.
He like set it down
I
real
saw that.
fast.
Yeah.
I know, right? Gonna
yeah.
break the iPad.
I don't know what his.
I
deal
read the
is with
story what it
Coke.
was. I don't think it was like he had a
Maybe
beef
he
with
likes
Coke.
Pepsi.
I think it was something like he don't do soft drinks or something. It was something like that. I don't think it was a huge beef.
Well, with a
with
body
that
like that,
company.
he probably don't
He
put no
can't.
sugar
He
in
ain't.
it. No
He's
artificial
not.
sugar.
Yeah. That guy ain't even said
He probably
carbohydrates and
don't,
all.
yeah.
Wow.
Shredded.
I can't
way.
even say it.
Yeah. Seems like
Carbo.
a cool dude. Well, you need carbs.
Yeah.
And if you're an athlete like that, that dude's eating some carbs.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's eating potatoes.
The
and
whole
such.
thing with keto,
He's probably got a personal chef.
when
He
your body
does.
produces ketones, that's a survival mechanism because you're starving.
Yeah.
Like, it only does that because you're starving. It produces those ketones so you don't you have fuel to go out and
I must
find a
produce
meal.
a lot of ketones today because
Well,
Lord, I've been starving all
I've
day.
been starving.
Well, you have to be starving for a minute. Like, your body doesn't do that.
Reminds me
like,
of that my 600-pound life, whatever.
Uh.
You're not gonna starve. Don't
Yeah.
eat. You're not gonna starve.
But you gotta have carbs. I'm not saying you gotta eat like the traditional Western diet where you have 300 to 600 carbs a day. You know.
I'm eating 3.
But
But if you was working like those people, you could.
Oh yeah.
No,
if you
you
were running like them, or
100%
Michael
could.
Phelps with his
Right.
12,000 calories a
or
day.
just back in the. I mean, you work on a farm,
Farming.
Oh,
or
yeah.
or you're a construction worker, or
Yeah, you're
you got a
sweating.
physically
Yeah.
demanding job.
Yeah.
You could 100%. It wouldn't affect you at all.
Not me. I stand on
But-
concrete all day, and
Yep,
I'm still
I
hungry.
sit in a chair.
Average
So hungry.
Western.
Mine's psychological. Like I just want the taste of it. It
Just
totally
don't do
tastes
anything. They don't need that many
It
carbs.
does, I know.
You can still go low carb and have like 200, 150 carbs a day, and you'll do much better than I think you would with keto. I don't think keto is long term sustainable.
It's one of those things you got to get on it and stay on it from now on if you want the results to be.
Yeah,
because if not, then you
I don't
just
think
get
it's
it put
good.
back,
There's a
yeah.
reason
Could
that you
ruin
have
it.
3 vital things. You know, you got to have fats, you got to have protein, and carbs.
Yeah.
That's part of the 3 you need.
Yeah.
Like it's not natural for you to not ingest carbs. I don't think.
It's all
Well,
you,
my
you're
body
supposed to
doesn't
take
like
in what you
carbs.
need.
Now,
you know?
I don't think that you need 300 grams of carbs a day.
No.
You know, like a lot of old school bodybuilders thought you needed like 0.5. Like, so if you weigh 180 pounds, you'd 0.5 of that. That's how many carbs you need around there. They were all low carb, but they weren't keto.
Yeah.
Well, my body doesn't like when I have a lot of carbs because it like bloats and makes my belly poke out. I can tell when I have a lot of carbs versus not having a lot of carbs. My body does not like a lot of carbs.
Like I said, I think you need them. You
yeah,
don't
yeah,
need a lot
just
of
a
them.
little bit of them. Yeah.
I mean, if
My
you
body
ever
don't
try to
like
go
it.
to the gym without like a little
Yeah,
bit of
gas.
energy in your body
Yeah.
with like some carbs, you just
You
don't
weak,
you don't
son,
get
you
the same
weak.
workout. You know, when you're lifting weights, you want to get a pump.
Yeah.
Carbs help you get a blood flow and get a good pump. You're not going to get any of that.
Yeah.
Like those guys on keto, I just don't think it's long term. I
Yeah.
think you will lose weight,
Mhm.
and I think certain people benefit from it better. Like severe diabetics, I think they will
You're not supposed
they
to
will
have carbs
benefit from
anyways.
it much better anyways, just because carbs are going to convert to sugar in their body and it'll be better for them.
Right.
But it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
We started doing the Chef Greg's anabolic diet. You had him Chef Greg.
Who's Greg?
He's a Canadian
Greg Doucet.
Where'd y'all
IFBB
find this
coach.
guy?
He's on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's got some really interesting YouTube videos. He's always ranting.
Yeah.
And he sounds like the guy from what is that? The bird guy in Aladdin.
Iago.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of
What's his
sounds like
name?
that guy.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
also French Canadian, so he's got that little bit of French Canadian to it. But he's always yelling.
That sounds
man.
like that Chef Justin or whatever that Cajun chef that used to be on PBS. You know what I'm talking about? He's
No.
like, that's some good, yeah. You know, he was a Cajun, like he had a cooking show and he was always cooking Cajun food stuff. He would always fix him a glass of wine to eat with his dinner at night.
You see what they just told we heard that this morning. Queen Elizabeth, she has a martini at night. She's
No, I ain't
95
seen
years
that,
old.
really?
So she has a martini every night, and her doctor done told her that you don't need to have that martini no more.
No, she
It's like
was.
she is 90.
I'm gonna say if it's working for 95 years.
Yeah, it was also
Wasn't
something with
gonna
her health.
Yeah.
Because they're
Well,
like,
you're
you don't need to have that.
95. You're gonna die at any minute.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
You're not going to
I
live
bet-
100
I
more
bet.
years.
She don't live another 2 years.
Why
Probably
not?
not.
And it's going to be because not drinking that martini is what they're going to claim. I mean, what's
I
one
can't
little
believe she's
glass?
still alive. That lady was alive when Hitler was around.
Yeah, as
you
much
look at
inbreeding
her,
as
though?
probably been in that family. It's a wonder she might.
Well, she looks like she's possessed by a demon. We're going to get
She
shut
might
down by the
be.
BBC.
That may be why she's
They'll come
95
after us,
years
but
old.
If
Could
you'll
be.
see, like, clips where they, like, catch her in ways and stuff, she's got, like, weird, shifty eyes and just, like,
All those
creepy
All that
stuff.
royal crap is bull. I
such
hate that
BS.
crap so much.
Yeah.
I don't like it either.
You're just a person.
and then like with their,
Yes. What,
I
you're
hate
just a
when they try to
inbred
tell
person.
Yeah,
us
that's what I
over
mean.
here,
Yeah.
like preach
You're
down to
15
us.
years, saying,
Yeah.
Well, shut up. We already beat y'all.
I know, right?
You know?
But you know, I listen to a lot of videos and
July
stuff about
4th.
from people that are in different countries. The guy that I've been listening to, he's in Australia or whatever. It's like,
Poor Australians.
huh?
Poor Australians.
They
got
know-
all kind of crap going on.
That
there,
is the
man.
most
Gosh.
totalitarian, Big Brother,
Well, maybe not-
police state
maybe
place
next-
right now going on.
Maybe
That's
next to
bad
New
right now.
Zealand, they're just as bad.
Yeah, but New Zealand's already trying to lift some stuff because they realize it don't work. Right now in Australia, if you don't get the vaccine, $50,000 fine. You can't work. You can't go grocery shopping. And they're even talking about they've already got them built. These COVID confinement camps. They're going to lock you up in those.
Like a concentration camp.
Yeah,
But
100%.
but
Place is
the weird thing
psycho.
about it is these people know all about, like they know all about America. like they talk about America like they live here. Like,
Really?
it's weird. Like, how do these foreign countries, like, do they teach our stuff in school?
Yeah, I know, and we don't learn anything about
No,
other
we
people.
we are we
Well,
could most
yeah.
of yeah
But
except
a
for what's
lot
happening in
of
history, we could care less about the rest of the
Westerners
world.
go to all these other places though too to like teach all their stuff.
Yeah.
So like, crap. Where's
Well, I
Lou
know they all
from?
learn English.
South
Like these,
Korea?
they do well, but like they're talking about like Democrats and Republicans and recent presidents and stuff. Like they rarely ever say anything about their own government
I
and
don't
stuff. It's
know
like, how do
anything
y'all?
besides-
Why do y'all pay so much attention to it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does the rest
'Cause
of the world focus on America?
USA
We're
number
the-
one.
I mean, I
Well,
think
I think so too, but I'm just saying I haven't been in that situation to
champs.
where like that's right, back to back World War champs.
maybe
that's right.
3 because it seems like that's going to break off
Yeah,
any
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
Taiwan or
But you
not?
know-
China
China.
just put out that video where their new movie in China, their big hit movie.
Are they coming for Taiwan?
Well, that's the big thing right now. But
Yeah.
the big movie is they're fighting
Who's
America
gonna make our
Yeah.
stuff?
in this war.
Yeah.
But no, they've already put. I read an article today. They're preparing for invasion of
Absolutely.
Taiwan.
Yeah, they've got a new
China-
aircraft carrier that they're finishing up on, and
their
yeah,
economy's collapsing right now.
China's.
Yeah, they're on the verge of complete and total economic collapse. They're kind of going through what we went through in 2008 with the housing crisis, kind of like thing. Their largest real estate thing over there just defaulted on all their loans. They're going bankrupt and all this. They've been building crap. Like they've been building these massive apartment complexes. Nobody lives in them. They're just building them just to build them, I guess.
That's
And
like North Korea.
they're hoodooing a bunch of investors over there into thinking, oh, we got this massive apartment complex. You're going to make all this money. Well, nobody lives in it.
Yeah.
So they're
Is it
crashing.
because people can't afford to live in it?
Nobody can afford to live in
Yeah.
it. It's a communist country.
Yeah.
You know, you can't afford to do anything over there unless the government wants you to do it.
Yeah.
But anytime that a large economy, and they're the second largest economy in the world, teeters on the verge of a collapse, the quickest way out of a collapse
War.
is a war.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're beating the drum of war, and they've already said that they don't care if the U.S. wants to do something about it. They'll go to war with the U.S.
Yeah.
And
Good
we're on
luck,
the we're
y'all.
on the verge of
Y'all
collapse.
starving.
So
We got our
well, I've always felt like a war with China would in order for China
just
to
because they have
win.
are they the Million Man?
They have a big army, but they're gonna
Just
have
'cause
to
they're all
win quick
malnourished,
because any war, the big thing with any war is the logistics of you got to feed
Yeah.
everybody
Mhm.
and you got to get food to everybody. You know, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And if we're a big provider of your food, you know, and well, you're going to war with us.
Yeah. And the only way
First
that
thing we shut down is the
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to have Russia and I'm sure Pakistan and all these other Middle Eastern countries. It would escalate into a world war. There's just no way around it. The players have already aligned themselves with, you know, Russia's already said, you know, we believe that Taiwan belongs to China.
Yeah.
So they're already sowing the seeds of the sides that they're going to be on. It would escalate quickly.
Yeah.
It would be good for no one.
No.
It
No.
would be good for.
War's
it won't
never
be good
good.
for us people,
Yeah.
common folk. Now
Yeah.
the powers that be and the rich
Well,
and
they-
all
yeah,
that.
they're
It won't be good for
protected
the
and-
poor
yeah.
middle
Yeah,
class.
they get rich during wars.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but they
The
send
rich get
they send
richer.
all of us to go fight a war that we have no desire to be in
Yeah.
anyways. You like the Chinese people probably don't
They
give
don't-
two craps about
not at
invading
all.
Taiwan.
No, they're worried about same as us. They're worried about
Yeah.
making it through today.
Yeah.
You know, so we go and
Can I
fight
pay my
all these
mortgage?
wars on the behalf of a bunch of rich politician idiots that aren't doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They're just doing it to make money.
That's the way it's always been.
I know, and it's a horrible thing. Like, why don't we, as people of the world, just realize we're pawns and just say no?
Yeah.
If we decide not to go,
If you could mobilize enough people, then you could do that. But it's just, you
Yes.
know, to get the word out to so many people, and you can't get an agreement because
No.
they called the bluff.
instead we end up just being cannon fodder for
Right.
them. It's so insane. But I mean, I feel like China's for sure going to invade Taiwan. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
If that does not happen by the end of the year, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Like I said, because their economy's tumbling into nothingness. Which, like I said, our economy's tumbling into nothingness too.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time for the same thing happens here.
All right. Well, before we have another episode, we need to have an agenda that has something to do with
Nostalgia.
something.
Pop
This probably was the
culture.
least nostalgia one.
Yeah.
We just talked about
We did
Brain.
talk about
China.
we did talk about some TV stuff and
Yeah.
some movies
Yeah.
and stuff.
Also, too, we still got the Toys for Tots fundraiser, the Pictures with Santa, that's going on November the 13th. But those spots need to be pre-done and pre-booked. through
How
our
they do that.
Facebook.
There you go.
Just look on the Facebook. We got a pin at the top of the page, so you can look on there and you can see what spots are
I'm
available.
gonna do that like you're gonna edit in a thing up there.
Facebook
Yeah, you can put in the
The-
picture.
click this
the
link
Santa.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't you learn to do that yet?
But yeah, so it's just $35
Who says I
per
can't?
family
I don't
and
know
just
if you
15-minute
can.
slots. So they're gonna be like Christmas minis.
Every
We gotta
video from
mini
now on, you
Santa.
need to put a link to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I like how
Yeah.
you just cut me off.
Sorry.
Well, I'm trying to promote the thing.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
And
I
the
apologize.
link is in the description every time.
Yeah, but like a clickable link, like
It
where I
is
can start
clickable.
pointing like this.
If it's
It
a
is
link,
Hey, click this
D-
link
hey,
above
do-
my head.
Do this, and then it is clickable
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's below
yeah.
the video. That's all you got to do.
down
Yeah,
there. Click
okay.
it down there.
Click it
Yeah,
down.
there you go.
It can take you to the Facebook page,
Yeah.
to the event. Get on it. But we need more people to sign up for it because this is all the proceeds go to Toys for Tots.
Good cause.
So we don't get any money. It all goes to a charity. It's a good event.
Yeah, good
And
charity.
the boxes will be set up for the next
Yeah,
weekend.
they're still
won't they?
set out now though. Well, they were set out.
Well, they haven't been in the
By the time
store
this
since
airs,
Toy
they're going to
Show,
be
but
back
yeah,
out.
they'll be back
But
in the
yeah.
store.
Sadly, we've only had, besides like us donating a whole bunch of stuff, we've only had like 3 people donate stuff at the
I
store.
think the closer it gets
Yeah,
to
the closer
Christmas,
you get to Christmas, more
it-
people are more in
it's
the
on-
spirit of doing that
yeah,
kind of stuff.
it gets on
yeah.
people's mind more the
Yeah.
closer and closer and closer. it
Walmart's
gets.
already got all their Christmas trees out.
We got a Christmas tree.
I put up a Christmas tree. We got little ornaments for
we
sale.
sold some ornaments.
Yeah.
I sold some
What do you mean
ornaments
you
today
put up a Christmas tree? Where?
in the store.
On the other
You
side.
have a Christmas
Yeah,
tree
yeah.
up
I
in
got
the
a black
store?
skinny
Why?
one. That way
'Cause
I
we
can
got
use it for
ornaments for
Halloween. Yeah,
sale.
we have so many ornaments, and
Oh.
I'm turning figures into ornaments.
Yeah, we've been taking
Oh.
like little figures, like this would
like
be an
McDonald's
ornament.
toys
you
and
know?
You
stuff.
don't make a don't mess up a juggernaut.
Screw
No,
a
I
little
wouldn't
thing
do
to
that.
his
No,
head.
it's too heavy.
Yeah, I know you
But
could. but-
McDonald's toys.
Yeah,
and
that's
little
cool. Yeah.
90s
Yeah.
Batmans and you know
Yeah,
all that
we've
stuff.
sold several of the ones that she's made so far.
Did it?
Yeah.
Besides just the Garfield?
I sold 2 more today.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I think they were Garfield too, though.
Oh,
Mm,
yeah.
people love
Here's what it
Garfield.
is.
Yeah.
I need to get
Do
some more
they?
of them out.
Apparently,
you
you're
don't-
selling them.
You
know
don't
what's
see
weird
anything
is-
Garfield.
I
Yeah.
got these like
The guy that made
Charlie
the
Brown like figure
Oh,
like
yeah.
things in, and Renee was like, I don't know if these will ever
People
sell.
like peanuts.
And I've
Well,
already
they're
sold
like
both
$50,
of the
but they're
Charlie
Madame
Browns.
Alexander's.
I
Oh,
don't know
you
what
sold
that
the
is.
other one too?
Yeah, I did knock a little off for the dude, but because I was like, yeah,
So now we just got Lucy.
now we got Lucy.
You
We'll
should have
probably,
been like, I'll make you a deal if you buy Lucy too.
probably have Lucy for a while.
You should have made a deal if they bought Lucy.
I didn't even
Mhm.
think about that. Put Juggernaut back. Right
Yeah, Lucy by herself will be a hard sale.
Yeah, she is. 'Cause nobody
Yeah.
likes her.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody
Nobody
likes
needs
Charlie.
a psychiatrist 5 cents.
yeah. She's a jerk. I mean,
She is. Always pulling that football.
I would have punched that girl in the face
I
so
know,
hard.
right?
Now.
I'd have kicked her in the
That's-
face.
yeah, I wouldn't even been looking for the football.
Yeah.
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 I'd have
When I
squared up
was
on
in
her.
I'd have wore some steel toes.
like I guess it
Severed
was
that spinal cord.
like 4th or 5th grade, Corley is what it was called back then. But we had a girl in our grade that was
Elementary
basically
school.
like
Really?
her,
Yeah.
always bullying and poking and prodding it, and she did it to everybody, but she really did it to dudes, like knowing
Yeah.
that nothing was gonna happen. We were on the back from PE one day, and there's this guy named Mike McHenry, and at the time I was like best friends with him in school. She was messing the whole PE, and we were walking back in line, and she was just trying her best. He turned around and laid her out. I mean, just decked her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it changed her attitude from then on, didn't it?
Not really,
Really?
but she was still a little rough, but she was less rough to dudes.
Yeah.
She had a big old black eye.
Probably didn't mess with that guy much.
Everybody was probably like, she tripped and fell. It went
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
sainted.
she had it coming.
Nobody felt bad for her.
No.
Well, of course not.
No, I
'Cause
love
she
it.
does.
You'd love to see a bully get what's coming
Yeah.
to him.
Remember
I
that
mean,
show,
she
Bully
was-
Beat Down?
I
Man,
do.
you
That was a
love
good
it.
show. I like that show.
That was
That guy's
good.
went off the deep end. That Jason Mayhem Miller.
Has he?
Yeah. He's
Ew.
been arrested multiple times. I mean, he's on the verge. Like, if he gets probably arrested one more time for anything else, he's looking at prison.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
Well, it sucks for him.
That's 2 hours 15 minutes.
2 hours.
Yeah,
I mean, well,
yeah.
we'll cut a little out of it.
We have a whole
but
bunch of
that's-
stuff.
Yeah.
whole bunch of information
Yeah.
right there just laid upon you
Maybe
folks.
maybe now that local or private life drama is maybe behind us for a while,
Yeah.
maybe we can get back on a little more regular
Yeah.
schedule
We need to.
and come up with a little bit more of agenda instead of what we've been doing.
Yeah.
We need to do
We need to do the board game thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we should do one in our Halloween costumes.
What Halloween costume? I ain't got a Halloween costume.
I got one.
I'm
There
just
you
camp-
we got.
He's Hercules.
Hercules.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just
Disney
a-
Hercules.
Disney
Yeah,
Hercules,
yeah.
baby.
Okay.
I'm a Camp Crystal Lake counselor that's been murdered.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I was going really easy. T-shirt and shorts.
I
Yeah.
bought
Some blood.
Hercules for last
Some
year, and
black
we
eyes.
never ended up wearing it. I was gonna wear it at the store, and I was like, man, I don't really want to wear that Hercules outfit.
I bought a
all day
Meg
long.
outfit, and it came in.
A what?
Meg from Hercules.
Oh, okay.
Meg.
Yeah, it was not good.
Would it have been risque to wear? Or what?
No, it looked like
It was
300-pound
Yeah,
princess.
really?
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, just
Mine's
massive.
not that
It
bad.
was
Yeah.
massive, like massive.
Yeah.
Like,
The shoes that came with mine sucked, so I bought like different like
man,
tie up
they-
like Greek looking shoes,
Like,
you know.
yeah.
and then they
but-
cover it in glitter. So when
Oh,
you took it out of the
gosh, I
thing,
can't
it was
stand that.
tulle. First off, so much tulle. Glitter was everywhere because the bedroom is the only thing that has carpet in it.
Okay.
And I opened it in
Oh
there.
my gosh, I hate glitter so bad.
And you can't see it
Yeah, I
because the
don't
way it's
like
folded
glitter.
up. So when you pull it out, you know, you pull it out of the bag and you're like, yeah, shake it out of the bag. And
Bought my
there's
daughter.
still glitter. And I bought this last year.
Yeah. Bought my daughter a Catwoman costume, so I got her a bull whip, and I gotta get her some goggles.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
She's gonna be Catwoman.
Like
She
the
gonna
new
come
52
by? You gonna bring
Catwoman.
her by the
Sure.
Halloween costume
Yeah, it's on
contest?
Saturday, right? Yeah, sure.
Yep,
can.
yep.
Get her
12
in
to
her. She
5.
get her in the kid division.
I don't
You
know
dress
if we're
up,
going
you
to do a
get in the
Halloween
adult
party
division.
yet or not.
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to do a Halloween party yet or not.
I doubt we will. We
Yeah,
got a
probably
buddy
not.
that's doing one the day before.
Yeah.
On Saturday or
No,
Friday.
I wish he was doing it on Saturday. Ben, if you're listening, which I doubt you are,
Yeah.
move that thing to
Friday.
Saturday.
Would you be able to do both?
Well, we would just leave immediately after the store and go to his on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do that on Friday.
Well, we're
That's
gonna
what
do
we're
that
doing
on
on
Friday.
Friday.
But I can't have as
So
much
I'm
fun.
like, well, if I got to dress in costume, though, I have to wear my costume and then my
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah.
I gotta drive back from Huntsville
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady
So.
Springs.
unless I crash there and get up early in the morning, which that could be a possibility. I don't know yet.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Well, happy Halloween if we don't talk to y'all
Yeah.
till then.
Yeah,
We'll see.
At the rate we go, it won't be. We'll see you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Happy St.
Oh,
Patrick's
man.
Day.
Yeah. Good luck. Maybe we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get back to something more normal.
Yes.
All right. Y'all enjoy.
Yeah.
Alright.
Peace.